is the most basic, democratic, and sustainable form of mobility. 8. In our fast urbanizing world, ensuring safe and defined walking spaces remains one of the greatest challenges of urban designer and governance and professional architect, planner, engineer. Dr. Asija, vision and expertise bring to light the importance of reclaiming our streets for people, prioritizing pedestrian safety, and making setting more human and livable. His insights will inspire us to rethink how urban planners, architects, engineers, and policymakers can work together to ensure that walking becomes not just safe but also a pleasant and empowering experience for every citizen. My dear fellow participants, as far as the qualification and the recognition of Dr. Navdeep Asija is concerned, Dr. Sahab has been awarded many awards, national award for excellence, Ministry of Urban Development in 2011, Mobi Prize among the world's top 15 sustainable transport ventures in 2012. Vishwakarma National Award Urban Transport Design in 2012. Runner-up Volvo Sustainable Mobility Award in 2013. Promising Active Transport Social Entrepreneur EMBARQ India in 2015. And featured in 30 Extraordinary Indians India Today by 2015. So we are hoping that all professionals present as a participants will be very, take the advantage of expertise of Dr. Asija sir. I warmly welcome Dr. Navdeep Asija sir to this session and invite all participants to engage with his ideas, reflect on his experiences, and take forward the message of building safer and more sustainable and people-friendly cities, people-friendly India. Thank you and welcome once again, sir. Over to you, sir. Welcome, sir. Hello, Dr. Saab.
Hello. Thank
Ji,
you.
ji, ji.
Am I
Welcome, sir.
audible?
Ji.
Yeah.
You are audible, sir. Video is not coming.
My screen is visible. I just
Yes,
shared.
sir. Yes.
Yes, sir, the screen is visible, but your video, your personal video is not coming, sir.
Oh, I think I have picked up the other option.
And Dr. Saab, we will go in slide mode. Just
Okay.
click the slide so. Yes, and from first slide.
Is it clear? Now screen
Yes,
is
sir.
visible?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, LPU, and thank you all participants for having me here. It's a great honor for me to, share my experiences, the practicality I've gained, while implementing the right to walk. Taraji is also here, and closely associated with her. We have undertaken certain tasks together. So, the people with the similar philosophy are also here. So, I'll just start with, I think, Professor Saab has given a good narrative about overall concept that why I call it as a right to walk, making urban walking more safe and enjoyable. So I'll just, quickly go through it, and at the end of it, we will be like, partially it is just what the planner needs to be done, what architect needs to be done, and what civil engineers are supposed to do in order to implement the right to walk, apart from the policy level intervention. So I'm going to cover in the next uh, few minutes, I'm going to cover this overall concept so that we all should understand overall one from the very perception of a right to walk, to understand the issues and how to take it forward legally and technically. So, coming to the socioeconomic cost of an accident, I'll just begin it with the cost of an accident because a bad infrastructure is actually resulting into more number of accidents. So, if I
Sorry,
just
sorry for interruption, sir. Your video is not coming. Sir, your camera is off.
Okay. So I think मैंने ऑफ किया हुआ है, मैं ऑन कर देता हूँ। अब आ रहा है? Now I'm
Yes, coming,
Yes.
sir. Coming, sir.
So now coming to sorry, there's something is switching. I think my screen is disappeared somewhere.
So now your video and your screen both are visible, but now your video is gone again, I think.
And somehow the screen is not visible to me. It's working, but I don't know. I think I was just clicking something and
It's okay, sir. Please take your time.
yeah. My screen is shared, but not coming here. Is it coming? The presentation?
Presentation is coming, sir. Socio-economic cost of road accidents in India and Punjab. This slide is visible.
Yeah. So I think it's there. Yeah. So why this socioeconomic cost? When I say the socioeconomic cost, it is the cost. I mean, there was a study taken by the IIT Delhi DIMS, and AIMS was also involved. It is basically the cost of when we lose someone. I mean, we lose the productive years. So basically that cost of hospitalization. Is it okay?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. So since the LPU is in Jalandhar, so I just picked up the cost of a one city only. So annually, the socio-economic cost lost due to accident in Jalandhar is about 500 crore. So why I'm quoting this figure is that any amount spending on a road safety is a wise decision in terms of if the one city is costing about 500 crore a year, you can imagine the scale at a we have India, we have about 8,000 cities. So the kind of loss, and when it comes to particular pedestrian, the cost is further very high because the time loss and everything. So overall, this set a momentum for me that yes, this vulnerable group needs more protection. And there is a very famous saying in the law: the one who has a less in life should have a more in law. So pedestrian and the cyclist are the two most vulnerable group in the overall matrix of a road safety, and they needs to be specially protected. So now we need to understand what is traffic.
Sir, next.
So when we say, is it coming? कुछ बीच में से I think कोई आवाज आ. Hello.
Coming, sir. Coming.
So what
So
is traffic?
what is traffic is showing, but nothing else is
Yeah.
showing.
Yeah, no, that's a stepwise. I mean, I'll be taking it forward. So the common understanding of a traffic is the motorized traffic. I mean, we don't say it or take it as a. So it's very important to understand traffic not only just technically but scientifically also and legally also. So if I talk of the Constitution of India, the Constitution is very clear. It starts with the we the people. It is not saying that we the vehicle or something. So means constitutionally, the someone who owns a motor car or someone who is just walking on the road, both are equal. But unfortunately, in our roads infrastructure or even in the policy, the most deprived sector is the walking and cycling. And as a result, we end up killing more cyclists and pedestrians. But our constitution doesn't allow us actually. So that's why I'm just showing you the picture of this constitution. It talks about equality of political, economic, and civil. But unfortunately, when it comes to the road infrastructure, you will not see the economic and civic equality on the road for pedestrian and cyclist. So that's from where my advocacy started. That when I actually narrated this to the honorable court, that sir, when we see any of the road of the developed nation, the only difference between them is a respect for the pedestrian. And that is where the courts took it up, because courts are there to protect our fundamental rights. So when we say that there are certain fundamental rights which are breached or constitution spirit is not being addressed, they take it up. So you just see, after a lot of advocacy, the first legal definition of traffic. So in India, prior to 2017, and this is a very latest, I mean, we just 1 year before the corona or 2 year before the corona, the first legal definition of traffic came up in our country. So traffic includes vehicle of every description and other carriage and conveniences, pedestrian, procession. So this is the legal definition of traffic in India. So when we say and when we are being called, please, tell us about the traffic management, improve the traffic. That means we are supposed to improve everything which is there on the road rather than picking up the few mode of transportation. So traffic stands for everything, and that is what the legality of this country says, from the constitution to up to the act, which is the Motor Vehicle Driving Regulation 2017. So just to tell you the fatality figure of the pedestrian and cyclist on from the three cities of Punjab, which is Ludhiana, Jalandhar, and Amritsar, from 2017 to 2013. I mean, if the total fatalities in Ludhiana are about 2,356 people, imagine that 40 to 35% share is just pedestrian and cyclist. So that is where our need in terms of has come up, that they needs to be protected legally, technically, and through better infrastructure design. So we need a lot of effort in terms of you just not a policy or the legal framework, but we need to protect them from all aspects, because there is a huge socioeconomic loss, which I showed you in my very first slide. And the Jalandhar is about, if in the last 5 year, I mean 2017 to 6 year, about 700 people died in the Jalandhar one city only, and you can very well calculate the numbers as well as the loss to the family. I mean, there are like 700 people. You know, every person in a family is a very important, and you can imagine that the 700 families have lost their dear one. So now, if I just come to the Jalandhar Police Commissionerate, I mean, from 2017 to 23, so somehow what happened is in the 2023 that have gone up straight away to 111. And out of that, the major share which has increased is pedestrian, cyclist almost remains same, and the total is coming as a 49. So straight away, the pedestrian death in Jalandhar, I mean, if the total fatality in Jalandhar are like doubled from 66 to 111, the pedestrian share straight away doubled from 22 to 44, where are the otherwise there is a marginal increase, but here this is very alarming. That what happened in Jalandhar, I picked up a Jalandhar as a case study because of the LPU is a station in Jalandhar and Fagwada area, and there is something from the data is coming, and as an institution or as a responsible professionals, we need to do something for the Jalandhar, because we all are working over there. And this is something, when the data starts saying something that something wrong is happening, and we need to look at it in terms of maybe we are constructing more highways and highways. It's just not that within a 1 year the behavior of the Jalandhar people have changed, and they have started killing more pedestrians. Per se, the fastest changing thing which is there in the Jalandhar is the infrastructure. It is not the behavior. Behavior is a slow process. So it means at a rate where the pedestrian infrastructure has not been created and other infrastructure has been created, is causing this kind of a discrepancy. So understanding the problem, why such things? This is National Highway number 44. Village and settlement. For example, if you just see the government senior secondary school is on the right hand side of the village, there is a National Highway number 44 which is crossing, and there is a Gurudwara Sahib which is on the left hand side. So for even the basic thing, people are crossing the highway, and there is a no safe access. Infrastructure wise, it's just from A to B, but we are not been able to provide the kind of connectivity which was required based on the activities of the road around the road. This is Ludhiana. So if you just see the kind of a pedestrian facility, I mean, This is just right outside the bus stand, and just imagine how the people are trying to cross the road. So it's a very challenging even to cross the road right in front of a bus stop, because bus stop is one where the lot of pedestrian and everybody come and you to board on the bus and they go out wherever they wanted to go. And basic infrastructure is missing even to just cross the road right in the middle of the city. This is National Highway. Again, with the picture from National Highway, just see there is a pedestrian crossing somehow is being marked, but you just see the right in front of that there is a crash barrier. So you just reach at the middle of the road and then you have to jump the road in order to cross the road. So this simply elaborates that pedestrians in infrastructures are not being taken seriously. Now, if you just see the junction and the street, this is picture from the Pathankot. I mean, you just see that, the kind of corner which is there. I mean, anybody who's walking, for sure, vehicle can still take a turn. But if somebody is walking at a night and there is no light, for sure that person will fall into that ditch. This is another picture. I mean, we call it as an inclusive infrastructure for even, people with the specially able and the pedestrianization. I mean, you just see that zebra crossing, other side there is a crash barrier, and on the back side, the sharp pole is there. I mean, anyone can fall on it and then get injured. Similar way, I mean, on the right hand side, my picture, you see that tactile tiles are there. Somebody, maybe a blind person, start walking, and there is a pole in front, and then it is further leading to the wall. So first you hit the pole, and then you hit the wall. I mean, such a misguided system, and certainly the blind person who will be following this is also a pedestrian also. So, this simply shows that infrastructure seriously lacks something, and the adaptability for the pedestrians. Now, the design wise, it's a good designer in terms of, just see the picture. I mean, the open drain has been created right in front of their houses. So either they'll die with the mosquitoes and the malaria, and otherwise somebody will, I mean, this picture, I mean, I the one who took the picture, but I actually helped him how to cross the road. But yeah, I just took the picture and then I immediately rushed to this person and helped him how to cross the road. But later on, after the audit, the entire drain was covered. It was initially kept as an open drain. So, as an auditor, sometimes we have to put ourselves into that situation so that you can see the problem of the road. We are just not a designer, but we need to put ourselves into that situation. Similar, I mean, many such problems, and I'm just highlighting one and after another. This is Laladu, I mean, another situation, and this is common scenario that there is a flyover, the bus stops people at the toe of the flyover, and then they cross the road. This is already known. This is Chandigarh, the most advanced city. I mean, this is the cycle track is there, the pedestrian is there. So they have widened the road, but signages and everything is there. So there is a possibility that any vehicle may hit it. Or even, there is a zebra crossing, but in front of a zebra crossing, you see that they have put a bollard, steel bollard, or, something. Somebody on a wheelchair, and this is in front of the hospital. So somebody on the wheelchair, I mean, you can imagine how he'll cross or how she will cross this road. So another challenge. So, it's something has been done half-heartedly. Change has started happening, but the saddest part is it's a very slow. Uh, this I showed you. Now, coming to the scenario of one of the study by Ian Roberts about the walking, cycling, and car usage trend. If you just see from 1985. Why I chosen this year, 1985, and at a part of the Ian Roberts study, this was a kind of a motorization was happening globally, kind of thing. In India, it was started after economic liberalization of a 1991, 92. Things started moving at a much faster pace. There was a regular decline of the walking and cycling, and we all experienced. I think we all from this age span, and we have experienced that there was a very pleasurable experience of a walking and cycling we had in our childhood, and over the period of time, as the car occupants are going up and a walking and cycling is further going down. And the reason is not that we have stopped walking. Actually, as a matter of fact, that infrastructure is actually pushing us not to walk. So when I say the road safety versus walkability, it's very important for everyone to understand that WHO says what road safety is: safe separation, reduce vehicle dominance. Very clearly, they are prioritizing pedestrian. So the WHO is very, very clear on when it talks about the road safety. They are clearly saying when you talk of the road safety, we have to be, focus on the design streets with the safety of pedestrian, shared space, signages and marking, visibility and predictability that ensure clear sightness, and we can predict certain things. It's not that somebody, pedestrian is walking in the dark and any vehicle is coming and hitting us. I mean, very unfortunately, you observe that vehicle fitted with the headlights are actually provided with the street light, and pedestrian which are not who are not fitted with any kind of a headlight are kept in dark. And that is something, the blunder by the designer, I can say. The car can still move safely, even if there is a dim light or is a lesser light, but pedestrian will not be even a visible. They need a proper, I mean, you just cannot walk in dark. And if you are trying to walk, there is a possibility of any kind of an accident. So the makeshift arrangement to this is the walkability. Walkability is a measure of how friendly an area is to walking, measure of connectivity and a quality of walk. So this talks about if we are improving safety, it's fine. We have given the dominance to the pedestrian, cyclist, and many other things. But when it comes to the walkability, what needs to be done? We need to be a very have a very like the way we think that our roads are should be the high level of standard, efficiency, level of service, no potholes, no obstructions. The kind of mindset we have for the motorized transports, the similar kind of infrastructure, we need a footpath also which are pothole free. I mean, one can walk, a children can walk, an elder can walk, and a kid on a tricycle can also, move on that safe pedestrian and walkway. And that is where, when it comes to the like, apart from ensuring them for a safety, we need to improve their efficiency as well. So there was a one study at a municipal corporation level was conducted by Ministry of Road Transport and Highway, which was a walkability assessment in India. So they just come up with the walking score, 90 to 100. I mean, this is the kind of methodology they picked it up, that what percentage of city covered with the footpath wider than. So they picked up, any city which has a more number of roads versus the roads which have a footpaths more than 1.5 meter, because that's a minimum thing which is required to call something as a footpath. So looking into these standards, so they have done the rating score, that how the assessment of the methodology. So this was a very important study, but in the year 2008, they have done this kind of an walkability assessment parameter used in terms of walking path model conflict. I mean, they have done a very extensive study, and length of the surveys, walking time, all these walkability in order to do the walkability assessment, and to come up with a study. And this is the walkability score of India. So if you just need any slide, I mean, I can slow it down on that. The purpose of this is that hilly per se Bhubaneswar. I mean, after Chandigarh, the another designed city was the Bhubaneswar. But imagine what has been missed out is the walkability. The walkability index of a Bhubaneswar is less than 30. Jaipur, I mean, say is average above 60, which is anyway very good. Chandigarh is the highest. So two cities designed at the same time. I mean, after Chandigarh, the another design city we picked up was the Bhubaneswar. But we can very well see the difference between Bhubaneswar and Chandigarh is the walkability index. So this is, any score which is from 90 to 100 is walker's paradise, and from 70 to 90s is very walkable. So we just have, out of those 30 corporation city, one city which is just above the 90 score. So Delhi is even per se better than Ahmedabad, Mumbai. They are better city and well placed in per se Pune also, but the worst part is in the Pondicherry, which is another union territory, where better control is there. Varanasi is the worst, where we actually need a lot of walking because of the ghat and the kind of city demography we have. Uh, Raipur, I mean, in the Panji per se, the Goa, which is a tourist city. All the tourist cities are supposed to be, you know, walking friendly, but you can very well imagine that things are not up to the mark. Gangtok, lot of effort has been done after this study in order to improve the walkability, but this is the true sense. We have the numbers of death on these city, but otherwise when we collaborate it with the infrastructure, I mean, these are the general number available to us. Now this slide is I think the old one. I mean, I picked it up I think prior to corona. So what has happened? I mean, the kind of infrastructure we have created, it actually attracted more number of motor transport. It expanded our cities. Our city started expanding. Walkability has gone down. Cyclists have gone down. So now who are actually get the benefit? Imagine this. Out of Fortune 500 companies, the top 10, the seven are the oil companies, and the two are car manufacturers. So out of 10, nine are either selling the oil or selling the cars, and they are into the Fortune 500. And that is where the things have come. More pedestrian cyclists are getting killed. No one is even thinking about them, but as a result, someone else is making profit out of it. So somehow this kind of a thing which has been created over the period of time, that we are actually creating an infrastructure for the motorized transport only, and we are actually eliminating our pedestrian and cyclist by design from this. So there are international studies are also available on the walkability. I mean, there are a few of the glimpses. I'm sure Tara ma'am will also show her part also, because the detailed study is not available in the public domain as yet. Uh, so this is a common slide, and why it is important is car-centric development. What change it has brought? I mean, I'm just sharing you with the two slides. One left hand side is the city of Atlanta, and the right hand side is the city of Barcelona. Barcelona is a European city largely designed to promote walking and cycling. So imagine the same size of population, even more 5.33 million size of a population is staying in that small. And imagine that the black thing which you are seeing here is both are on the same scale. I mean, these are actually the size of the city. I mean, the right hand side is a Barcelona and left hand side is an Atlanta. And you just see the Barcelona size is a 162 square kilometer, where the Atlanta is into the 4,280 square kilometer. And same goes with other cities also. Like if you compare Ludhiana with Mumbai, Mumbai being into public transport centric city is a almost size. I mean, the core municipal corporation of Mumbai is almost double the size of Ludhiana. So here you just see, because the lesser space is required actually to accommodate more people. It means lesser carbon footprint, less accident, less noise, and a better life. But we picked up the left hand side of the urban design model than a right hand side of the urban design model. And that is where we all need to work upon in order to sensitize our authorities that, what is happening. Another social impact study but done by the West England University of West England, it was that the people, those who are living along the wider road, are actually facing the deteriorated local social life. दे हैव अ लेसर फ्रेंड्स, कम दोस्त होते हैं उनके, मतलब उनके 75, अगर आप बहुत चौड़ी सड़क पे रह रहे हो तो आप और आप गलियों में या कहीं और लेसर वाइड रोड पे आपका अगर घर है, तो आपके जो दोस्त होंगे 75% कम हो सकते हैं, मतलब यू विल हैव अ लेसर सोशल लाइफ. दैट इज अनदर सोशल इम्पैक्ट स्टडी which was carried out apart from the walkability. This is a very important study was taken up. Appleyard has done a phenomenal work. I mean, this study actually came at the time when the motor revolution was happening across the globe after the America and Europe from the Germany. It was coming to the developing nation also. So this study was a very path making study. So he just found that there are different streets. I mean, I'm just showing the picture of a low traffic, moderate traffic, and a heavy traffic pictures. And the same size of street, they just draw how people are actually crossing the road, meeting each other. How many times the left hand side people staying on the left hand side are going to the right hand side and all. So you'll be like surprised to see that the kind of movement which is happening on the very first street, which is a low volume traffic, people are actually crossing the road and meeting each other. 71% of the adults walked on a bicycle to the school when they are young. Only 18% of their children do so. That research says, and just because of earlier life they were living on the low volume traffic roads, and now they have shifted to the heavy traffic road. And as a result, their experience deteriorated, social life, cultural life, and almost there must be impact on many other things also. So the sense of home territory, there was a study was carried out. uh, this is the map drawn by the children actually. This illustration, if you just see, uh, it was by the resident in order to understand the home territory. कि सबको ये बोला गया कि आप जहां से घूम रहे हो लेफ्ट कहाँ पे किसका घर है, तो लो वॉल्यूम ट्रैफिक पे सबको सब कुछ पता था कि ग्रोसरी शॉप कहाँ पे है, किसी का घर कहाँ पे है। उन्होंने बहुत अच्छे से ये ब्लॉक बना के बता दिया कि ऐसे ऐसे सब कुछ है। आप देखेंगे फर्स्ट पिक्चर, द वेरी फर्स्ट पिक्चर इज वेरी क्लियरली शोइंग दैट. But when it comes to the moderate traffic and a heavy traffic, you just see the people were not even been able to in a position to even mark the places. So if you just go to Delhi, like for example, you like it's very difficult for you to even remember anything. But when you are into your neighborhood and everything, you remember every single household. So the sense of territory actually is actually lost because we are into the heavy traffic zone now. So it's very important to undo that thing at least into the internal part of the city. So this was the another study. I mean, extension of that. This the perception of a neighborhood. A 10-year old child. If you just see the 10-year-old child when he was asked to draw a map, he just draw something. The school is here, hospital is here. I mean, it's a very disconnected. He just know that something is there, but how to go there? I mean, he just made this sketch as a very disconnected path. If you just see this picture on the left hand side, uh, this is the neighborhood concept was created by a children when he was asked to draw a sketch of a 10-year-old. And when children eyes with the word at the same 10-year-old who was into the bicycling, who was doing bicycling and walking everywhere, when he was told to draw the map of a city, where your neighborhood where you are living, you just imagine, all the roads and every connection is a very clear that he knows, this road goes from the left to right and right to left. What is the size of the city? I mean, where the important places are, where the my university is, where my school is. Everything is very clearly drawn. Why this disconnected path versus well connected path? The difference was the traffic. Because when the children was actually moving into the car, he was just able to see the larger, uh, important geographical indicators. I mean, sorry, the key points, the key establishment, whereas on the right hand side, he was very clear. So that's why we lost our sense of, neighborhood. And as a matter of fact, now if we go to any city without Google Map, it is even difficult to travel. But if you just reverse your life 20 years back, every street and everything without even Google Map was known to everybody. So that is the kind of change which has brought into our system. So as the life. So this is again the community with the light traffic, the sense, and community with the high traffic. They were just able to draw one wide road and something where the people are parking the or everything. But if the right hand side community with the lighter traffic are actually showing the similar kind of with the windshield view and vis-a-vis somebody who's walking and cycling. So the sense of those are the conclusion of this study was uh, expression of danger and identification of a few new pathway and stop signs. मतलब they were not been able to even to identify many of the signages, the kind of picture they were creating, even the expression of danger when they were asked to draw, where you feel the most dangerous. I mean, they marked everything that, I feel dangerous when I go to the school. This is the kind of, danger I feel, and after improvement, they have started improving the thing. So such kind of an interventions or international studies are available, which needs to be, pushed into our own system. We need a lot of, a researcher and a champion who actually can do the advocacy for a cycling and a walking. We are not against the motorized traffic. They are supposed to be there. They need to be there. But at the same time, the most neglected part has to be there because that is straight away impacting our individual life as well. So this is I'm showing, the change has started happening. It's not that, nobody's understanding it. So this is not the picture you might have seen that before and after is how come that, there was a river and then there is a flyover. This kind of a thing is happening in India. But in Chengechon, there was a flyover. The mayor of that Seoul city decided because of the flyover, he is unable to solve the problem of the traffic of the city. They've done extensive study and they were the first one who demolished that flyover. So Seoul was the first city who actually demolished the flyover within the city in the world. And subsequently, many American city and many other European city have come up. They have started demolishing their flyover within the city, and per se, even the US has not built any flyover within their city. I mean, outside city limits, yes, but within city, no flyover has come up. And they have actually made this kind of a right hand side of a thing. So this was a before again the South Korea, Seoul. So now the bottom picture I see, you can see the place, same place, which just had only cars, and now the same place with the full of people. So it's a very simple. If you design a system or infrastructure for vehicles, the vehicle will come. If you design a system for pedestrian and cyclists, they will come. So saying that there are lesser people, those who are walking, and that's why we don't need footpath, is actually not true. It is a bad perception which is being built into our system, into our decision making. As a matter of fact, wherever there is a place, safe place for walking, people love to walk. More importantly, Times Square, you can see the pictures. The left hand side, it was a before, and the right hand side is they removed the traffic from that Times Square, and now this place is with the full of life. I'm sure in every city, there must be such possibility that why not the central downtown area can be made as a car free. So this is Copenhagen, Mark. This is kind of, if you just see, it is not the metro actually plan, but this is the cycling route of a Copenhagen along with the public transport. So just imagine the kind of metro and other system we have built. They have a well connected cycle paths, even from city to city travel. So it's not that India is a bad. I mean, India is not doing it. We are per se is a walkable cities into the walking. Majority of the cities are still have that walking facility. It's just that first we are destroying that, and then later we are recreating that, or later we may recreate it. So this is Church Street, Bangalore, Ernakulam, then Hazratganj, Lucknow, Hadar Nawaz Khan Road, Chennai, MG Road, Maharaja Badra Gwalior. I mean, if you see that there is a walking space and government is actually further promoting and improving it further. Uh, then Janpath, MG Marg, Gangtok, and this is the picture after that walkability study. So they have actually Gangtok now. If you just go and see, you'll find, uh, beautiful footpath, beautiful landscape. So many things have been added into actually, and then the Mall Road, Shimla, and then the Chandni Chowk, New Delhi. All these things are Indian best practices. So when it comes to the Punjab, we have not stopped here just by building an infrastructure, because that is something political in terms of if the one government will go and next government will come, they may or may not take it forward. Taking one step further, decided to extend this right to the citizen as their right. And when I say it is a right, we have fundamental rights, and Article 21 is the right to life. That guarantee us, and it is a universal. It is just not only for the Indian citizen, but anyone who is even visiting India has also a right to life. So, extending this right to walk further, right to life further, we added the right to walk as a part of fundamental right. So that now, if you just don't find something is not walkable, at least legal support is there. We have a less advocacy group and all that, but even if you approach to the courts, you will find that courts are listening. Now the priority will be given actually to the pedestrian. So traffic, I have already given you the definition. So the traffic and the right to walk actually are now together. So Article 21, I would just like to give you a brief, because we may not be from the legal background, and it's very important to understand that every infrastructure needs a legal backing also, that when we make a roads or anything, I mean, it is duly protected by the law and duly supported by, strengthened by the law, and that's why things are happening. So now the right to life is this Article 21 of our constitution. So Justice P.N. Bhagwati in the 80s, when he was the Chief Justice of Supreme Court, in one of the landmark judgment, he defined life means not only a physical existence, it means that use of every limb or faculty through which life is enjoyed. The right to life includes the right to healthy environment. So what he did was he added right to life as a right to healthy life. So the only one word was added. खाली जिंदा रहना जरूरी नहीं है. You are supposed to be healthy, and it is a duty of a government to do that. So now, just by prefixing the healthy life instead of a just life, the public interest litigation and everything start happening to the our constitutionally and to our fundamental rights, and right to clean air, right to water, right to clean water, everything comes that, because now it is a duty of a government to keep us healthy also. मतलब हमें कोई दिखाई नहीं देता, हमें बहुत सारी बीमारियां हैं, पर हम सिर्फ जिंदा हैं. That is not a right to life. Right to life is that our every faculty and every thought, it should be perfect, and for that we need a clean air, clean water. And going further, honorable court ordered that right to safety is also a fundamental right, and that is where the change started happening. So when it comes to the safety, and that's why safe infrastructure started building in our country after in 2000, after this landmark judgment, people were doing it, but right to safety is now your fundamental right. So if you just find that there is any unsafe infrastructure, you can actually go and ask court to give you the protection and to improve that system. So the Article 21, it was a MC Mehta case, 1997. The judgment came, and we call it as a second generation reform. First was right to life become right to healthy life, and second generation reform we call it as a right to life. Healthy life has been further defined it as a right to safety also, that it is also included into the Article 21. And not stopping here, as a third reform, third generation reform, where my own public interest litigation came forward, right to walk. Right to walk implies to right to every pedestrian access to the public space and public road infrastructure, enabling equitable, dignified, healthy, safe, accessible, and adequate walking. And this was the judgment by the Bombay High Court. Now, why courts are actually coming for a walking? Because now walking is a fundamental right. Right to drive vehicle comes when you take a license, and it is not a fundamental right. But right to walk comes when you take birth in this country. And that's why the title of this presentation is Right to Walk. And I want to improve your legal understanding on the subject also, because if you just design something, or if you find that design is not appropriate, legally you can counter that design based on these Article 21. So the Supreme Court of India recently in 2022, the matter of pedestrian and cycling safety in Punjab was discussed, and then under this, the Punjab said we will provide a safe pedestrian lane and cycling, and the order was given by the Supreme Court of India. And the very recent judgment in 2025 also, that not only to the Punjab but Supreme Court of India in totality across the country ordered that right to walk is a fundamental right. The third generation reform has been accepted by the Supreme Court of India also. So that is the biggest success, that something has started from Punjab with just one PIL, and now nationwide that fundamental right has been extended. मतलब वो एक पत्थर की भी तभी कर समझ सकती है, शर्त यह है कि सलीके से तराशा जाए। तो वो वही वाली बात है कि आपको थोड़ी शुरुआत करने की जरूरत थी, एंड द चेंज हैज स्टार्टेड हैपनिंग। In India now, it is very well preserved under Article 21. Safe, accessible, dignified movement on public road and footpath is your fundamental right. And as a designer, as an architect, as a civil engineer, as a planner, you must take care of it. Even if you'll do a bad design, someone can come and actually challenge you. So this is the Punjab story of a Punjab, and there are many other cases also that primary footpath. So many numerous judgments are available on the right to walk. These are the old cases, but it was restricting up to the Delhi, or to the, it was restricting up to the pedestrian only, or sorry, footpath only. But now the recent judgment, which is not there in this slide, where the Supreme Court of India has taken as a right to walk as a fundamental right across the country. You don't need a separate judgment out of it. There is a one standard judgment, and all states have been asked to frame the policy, guidelines, and everything for and to support pedestrian and cycling movement. So Kerala High Court also, come up with many beautiful judgments that developing a pedestrian environment means more than laying down a footpath or installing a signal. A truly viable pedestrian system takes into account both the big picture and the smallest detail, from how the city is formed and built to what materials are under our feet. So, just imagine, even our courts are talking about the materials also, that what kind of, material we use while making our footpath. It has to be good one. So now coming to our own part, which is the design guideline. So I've given you enough of the problem. There are certain good things which are happening in the country, and at the same time, now it comes to the guidelines. What do we have in our country to design safe pedestrian infrastructure? So IRC 103/2020 guideline for the pedestrian facility is available, and at the same time, the general guide NMT guideline document by the ministry, both are available on net. You can Google, and you can use this as your reference document for this particular lecture as well, because a lot of detail will be there in these two documents. And they are, I think, IRC, there is a subscription based also, but some PDFs are available on the net as well. And then the NMT guideline document as a policy, it is available on the Ministry of Urban Development. These are two very important and kind of initial document of our country. So now that guidelines are about the non-motorized transport. I'm just switching from just pedestrian to just cyclist to the overall non-motorized transport. Then it is very well defined in our IRC that what is actually the non-motorized transport. Largely, pulling carts, selling wares, vending carts, riding handicap tricycles, bullock carts, and it is defined in the traffic as well as, and particular non-motorized traffic has also been defined in IRC. So what is the character of the NMT? Because now the next part is we will talking about the non-motorized transport. Largely it is pedestrian and a cyclist and other also, which is street vendors, people on a tricycle, and everybody has to be taken. It's just not about a cyclist. We have to take a larger picture. So the NMT definition is there. This is given in the IRC. And the pedestrian, any person on foot, guidelines are there. And cyclist, uh, any person using physical power driven cycle, people who use bicycle, three-wheeled cycle, rickshaw, four-wheeler cars are all included as a cyclist. It's just not the bicycle only, but three-wheeled by a rickshaw or a four-wheeled cars that include our cyclists, but driven by physical power, not by the motor power. So that's the change. Four-wheel means he's talking about the carts. It's cars are written, I think that's a carts. Now the principle of NMT. What is overall? NMT is just not about making a footpath. It is overall. When you start planning of the NMT, I need my city to be NMT friendly, walkability friendly, all the way from how to taking care of the informal sector, mixed land use, transit priority. I am supposed to link it up with the bus stands, everything. Parking management is supposed to be there, supported by bicycle industry, build cycling culture. So the supportive principle for the NMT is just not, to make a bicycle, but overall security. These are the guiding principle. And if I just further elaborate them, what all is needed? I need a security, I need an information, I need a protected environment, I need a good walkability, bicycle friendly. I need a complete streets. Complete streets means street from a street furniture to the place where I can sit, at the place where I can walk. I need a good, washroom facility and many other public utilities. Everything should be available on the walking. The way we have created similar thing for the motorized transport, wayside amenities and all, similar kind of a things we needed it for on a footpath. And the most important is interconnected NMT network. It's just not that 5 kilometer of the road you will build and you will expect that people will start walking. The way all our roads are interconnected, everything from A to B, we can move anywhere. On the similar lines, we need an interconnected. So from A to B point, if I have to walk or if I feel like doing a bicycle, it's not that after 5 kilometers there will be 2 kilometer is missing and then there is another 3 kilometer. Whatever we do, whatever we plan, it has to be in continuation. So whenever we pick up any project, it has to be a sizable, well connected, or maybe even at a smaller scale, we can pick it up based on the origin and destination, but it has to have all the component. And most important is the informal sector. All the vendor and hawkers are needs to be adjusted because they are the fuel for the NMT. If I'm walking, I would love that I need to eat something. I would love to sit somewhere and like to eat. I would love to drink a water also. I need shade, I need a thermal comfort, universal accessibility. Safety certainly is the topmost priority. So NMT is just not that by building the footpath things will start working. We need a complete environment. And everything we know, this is the given in the NMT guideline document of the MOS. So 5 key steps when we do the NMT planning is first we have to assess, then we have to enabling environment, we have to take care of the authorities, then plan the things, then we need an investment into it, and then we need a implementation in it. So the very first it starts with the assessing the need of an entity, and it goes to implementation. And in a country like India, the assessment is that wherever you'll do the assessment, you'll always find that we need the pedestrians are there and we need a lot of them. For example, just outside the lovely professional universities, I mean, if 40, 50,000 students are there at a 5 o'clock when they leave, I mean, you can very well imagine how many pedestrians are actually, just standing outside the road. I mean, you just find the city is actually is flooded with the pedestrian only. And per se, I can say the LPU campus. I mean, those who have not visited must visit. It is, I can say, if I count LPU as one of the smallest city of the country, with the 50,000 people are actually living in a small area. And why it is happening? Because LPU is an NMT friendly. The entire infrastructure of the lovely professional university is a walkable. I mean, I'm sure the walkability index, if they'll do the survey of their own university, it will be more than 90 for sure. Because it's such a pleasurable to, walk around. If you are on a car, you will feel that you will not been able to enjoy the campus. Better to walk. So the kind of infrastructure enabling environment they have created within the campus, I'm sure all the learner, all the people, those who are passing out and going elsewhere, would sure like to have replicate the similar kind of a feel they have got the 4 5 year of their stay in the campus. So NMT mode in India are the, if I talk about the community commuting modes, they are pedestrian, cyclist, NMT vehicle, wheelchair, everything. Commercial, if I talk about cycle rickshaw, goods transport, and a vending cart. So these are the primarily six NMT mode in our country. Uh, Coming to the design part, after the assess and a plan, there is a all these things needs to be taken. Safety is the topmost priority because from where that is where from we are getting the power. Then there is a security, obviously. Security, when it comes to the security, safety I'm talking is safety from the road accident, and the security is that woman, if so per se she is walking, she should feel safe on that footpath. It should not be into the dark. The first and the last mile, good connectivity, nice shade where someone can walk, no shady areas. So that is where the security means, and in continuity in terms of all the footpaths should be continuous, not that 500 meter is missing and then there is a 1 kilometer there is a footpath. So we need a continuity, and topmost is comfortable. कुछ भी नहीं बनाएंगे as one of the judgment by the high court I told you, they are even not talking about walking as a pleasurable experience, but they are even talking about the minute detail of a material, also selection of the materials, that when I'm walking on the footpath it should be nice and good one, no broken footpath, no broken tiles, good drainage facility, everything. So livability, when livability comes, lot of vendor hawking space, nice shades, kids are walking, children are walking. So that makes every space as a livable. So that's what the pedestrian facility principle. So designing walking friendly cities and pedestrian infrastructure. So this is the kind of larger intersection we need a good. This is just a picture, but the more priority and a healthy street designs are like this. And this is from the ministry guideline and as well as from the IRC 103, that the entire dominance should not be only to the motor vehicle, but we need a equitable distribution. And that is what the urban transport policy also say, that equitable allocation of a road space. What does that mean? Equitable allocation of a road space means that everyone, be it on a cycling, be it walking, and somebody who's in the car have an equal priority. And that is what our constitution says, that is what our law says, and that is the design principle should be. So the mode priority wise, when you design something, the top on the triangle are the pedestrian and the lower one are the private motor vehicle. So that is the priority of a design. When you design any infrastructure, uh, it is this way that the kind of priority has to be given if we want to save the urban congestion problem of a city. You Why I'm quoting time and again lovely professional university, because it's a beautifully designed campus. And the best part is, if we just put a, many cities have a 50 to 60,000 population, at least 4 5 6,000 cities you will find that this size of a population in India are there. And the kind of chaos over there, I mean, every day there is a jam, there is a honking, noise pollution, road accident. Same 50,000 people are staying in that 500-acre campus, zero fatality, no noise pollution, everybody's walking. If you just even see the quality of air index, and that is a very very good study, and I request even the people from LPU to take it up in terms of the quality of air inside the LPU and just outside the gate of an LPU. you know uh, Everything is perfectly designed, and that is a good example where we can actually tell our policymaker that there is a something which is possible. We can make it. It's not something impossible. Coming to the pedestrian infrastructure design, I mean, every design has a now particular design. As I told you, design should cover everything. Uh, I agree with Professor Nagendra that LPU has actually a lovely campus. Uh, Pedestrian infrastructure wise, if I just say, what is needed, the pedestrian level of safety, level of service, we need a footpath, we need a curbstone, tactile pavers, guiding tiles, warning tiles, bus stops. Many of you, as an architect, as a planner, or as a civil engineer, you must be doing this as an individual exercise, and many of you must be exceptionally good in into all. But when we come to the pedestrian infrastructure, we have to do it in totality. Street furniture, bollard, pedestrian guardrails, signages, street light, landscaping and street vending, pedestrian crossing, very, very important, at grade pedestrian crossing and grade separated pedestrian crossing, which rarely works. And when it comes to the footpath, width is a very important, height is very important, the kind of texture and a surface. Uh, then continuing and integration. So everything should be very well. Like bus stops supposed to be integrated with the footpath so that if I can walk, I can straight away stop at a bus stop rather than again I have to go to the road and then stop at the bus stop. We need everything into the uh, continuity. So consistent carriageway width is very important. Like if we are making this kind of footpath, it may not work. It is bad in terms of for the vehicle movement as well as for the pedestrian movement. But if you find such kind of a thing, what the IRC says, this kind of infrastructure is the best. I mean, you better need increase the width of the footpath and make it more space. Vehicular speed exceed 15 kilometer. I mean, the IRC says that anywhere where the vehicle speed is more than 15 kilometer per hour, average speed. So on our Indian internal streets, sometimes you don't need, because there is a lack of space, we don't need a separate footpath. So it's very clear, 15 kilometer for safe coexistence of pedestrian and a motor vehicle. So anywhere where it is more than 15 kilometer per hour, we need a separate footpath. So this is the way we have a vehicle level of service. The similar way we have a pedestrian level of service also. It is the pedestrian per hour per meter in both the direction against the unit width. So for example, in commercial area, IRC says 1285 people, if they are able to cross in 1 hour in both the direction and the width of the footpath, say 2 meter. So precisely it will be like about 2500 commercial. I mean, if the footpath is in the commercial area, I need to plan it for a if the 2500 people are crossing that footpath in 1 hour of a 2 meter width, the level of service will be B and the level of service C will be if there will be more people, because the comfort level and the congestion level for the pedestrian will increase. So these are the level of service. Pedestrian flow wise, we generally take 1.5 times. Like if you are planning anything for a one direction, it is fine. But if something has to be for the both the direction, we need to increase the width by 1.5 times. So these are the standards which are given in the IRC based on the. So when you are doing the auditing of a footpath, we can actually check the volume and check the pedestrian level of service, whether it is a level of service B and a C. We can do this for a comparative study also. Like for example, we are picking up one road for a design and we check today that we found there are less, there is a no footpath. If it is a 1 meter, lesser pedestrians are there. We can actually calculate the level of service, say E or F or something. But when we improve it, we make a nice footpath and everything, we'll find that if the level of service has gone up to the P. So that is a kind of even a directive we can give it to our, designer and engineer as a client, that, the intent is actually to improve the level of service from B to, or from C to B, or anything, by assessing the existing system. So the footpath design zone wise, we have a multi-utility zone. Then there is a pedestrian walking zone, which is minimum 2 meter wide. I mean, the picture below is very clearly depicting that. And then frontage zone, which is right in front of our commercial. So pedestrian will just not walk right in front of the shop. We just need a some margin. We call it as a shyness. And if we provide all the zones, entire pedestrian path will be 100% used. So even if I'll make the same 2 meter wide footpath next to the wall, I will be effectively using that footpath as a 1.5 meter width instead of a 2 meter, because half a meter may go wasted because I'll not be able to walk just next to the wall. So this is the kind of a mathematics thing we can do it for any city where we live, any exercise we can take up. Uh, as you, as I mentioned, that very first principle is to assess. So for an advocacy also, we can actually tell the authorities that boss, you have made a footpath with the 2 meter wide foot width, but since it is next to the railing, next to the wall, the effective width is actually 1 meter, and the lesser people are able to use it. Why don't we make a starting buffer, multi-utility zone, and everything so that more and more people can use it? So this is the pedestrian footpath design width as per the IRC. The minimum which is there, that street furniture and how the total width at least should be in a residential zone. It is 4 meter. In commercial zone, it is a 5 meter. In high intensity commercial area, it is 6.5 meter. So this is the total. Out of that pedestrian zone, which is this entire is a footpath actually, but that walking space is known as a pedestrian zone. So the footpath is just not a 2 meter, but actually it is a 4 mark. We have to take it into the totality. So these are the different standards are actually given from the IRC, that what kind of a minimum dead frontage zone we need to be added. Minimum total footpath will be like 4 meter, 5 meter, and 2.5. If by any chance we have to make a standalone footpath, the another IRC document says in a commercial it should be 2.3 meter, and in residential it should be minimum 1.8 meter. If we are not been able to do anything over there because of the space constraint on many other things, that minimum width in residential area is 1.8 meter as per IRC. So the curved stone design, very important, because we are not supposed to jump over the footpath. We simply step in and step up. Now, uh, for example, when we design our home, we are very clear in designing the height of our the uh, staircase. What should be the height for that staircase, because we have to walk. But when we design the footpath, we simply miss that. So the IRC says it should not exceed 150 mm by any chance. And that is where the children, elders, and as an adult can actually, step on to the footpath, and vehicle will not. Making, height like half a meter, it makes no sense. That entire footpath will be of no use. So tactile pavers, universal accessibility, we all know that how we are supposed to. I mean, the correct way or incorrect way are very much there. I mean, it is you can see they have made a footpath even next to the wall, and you can very well see that nobody is able to walk. And at the same time, when the proper footpath is made on the picture, which is extremely right, people are actually using the multi-utility zone also. The wall height is less. Tactile, universal accessibility pavers are also there, and everything you can see in totality that this is how it is supposed to be. These are the two type of tactile pavers: warning tactile and a guiding tactile, just to give a direction, and the one we placed where we have to change the direction. Street light, another very important. I mean, from the various component of the design, street light is equally important for the footpath if you want more and more people. And obviously, when you conclude our day's work, evening time is the one when we start walking, and that is the time when all the footpaths are in dark. We are supposed to have a better, well-lit design for the our footpath, our pedestrian zone, our NMT zones. So that standard thumb rule which has been given for the street light design or footpath and cycle track in IRC is they are asking about 20 to 30 lux level for footpath should be available. And IRC, as per IRC road safety principle, this lux level is supposed to be double when we are making it for the crossing of the road. This is something footpath when we are moving along the road, but when we are crossing the road, the lux level is supposed to be double. So this is like 2.8 meter into the height of the pole. So this is the spacing and everything can be designed. This is like approximately the spacing between two light poles should be approximately 3 times the height of the fixture. And the light pole for pedestrians are like the low height. I mean, the picture on the right hand side is showing you that you don't need a very high rise. I mean, you just need a very pole with a small height. So this is the formula has been given in the IRC street light height and spacing as per street type. So for footpath and cycle track, pole height is like 3 to 6 meter. Then for local street with less than 12 meter height, the pole height is supposed to be 8 to 10 meter. Arterial or character roads more than 12 meter width. I'm supposed to have a pole height of 12 meter. So the spacing standards are also given that how they should be spaced, height versus this. So this formulation is there in the IRC. Uh, Similar for a cycle track also, and how we can use it. On a single pole, we can put two lights, but at a different level, or a segregated and a separate pole for a pedestrian and a cycle track. And it should not exceed more than 6 meter. Very clearly written. Bollard and signages on footpath, these are the standard signages. I'm sure many of you must be practicing and they are very well aware about it. But the general IRC says the bollard should be 0.5 to 0.7 meter high with a 1 meter clear distance so that somebody on a wheelchair can also cross. It should not be that closely spaced, which I showed you in my very first slide, the initial slide of a Chandigarh, where in the front of a zebra crossing there were a bollard, and even somebody who's walking is can't be even cross that. So for that this is needed. And when we are putting signages on the it should be in the multi-utility zone, and the height is 2.1. Why this 2.1 meter? Because if somebody is walking, it should not hit his or her head with the signages. One should be able to walk freely under that signages. These are the signboard which are newly introduced in the IRC pedestrian crossing. They are into the fluorescent color now, and these are the things which we need to put it into the our footpath infrastructure. Uh, so this is a bit of a uh, transportation engineering, traffic engineering terminology we use when we design the traffic flow and the capacities. Uh, the similar pedestrian flow character we use it. There are terms when we have to solve these numericals. We call it as a pedestrian speed, meter per second or meter per minute. Then pedestrian flow rate, how many pedestrians are actually crossing per minute or per 15 minutes. Pedestrian density, which is defined by the K, which is the number of pedestrian per square meter of an area. And pedestrian space, which is the average area provided for each pedestrian. I mean, total area divided by pedestrian, which is the inverse of the density. So these are the standard terminologies we often use in our technical documents when we design something for a pedestrian flow. And this is the level of pedestrian level of service, which is we call it as a PLOS, PLOS. So this is defined that what is crowded, and if the more number of pedestrians are there in the per square of meter of an area, your level of service for pedestrians. So pedestrian level of service, as I showed you, C and D, right? So this is the further elaboration of that. That Indo HCM. These are the standard and the HCM highway capacity manual, and the Indo HCM is developed for India with the CRRI. It's a good document. We all needs to read about it. One can purchase. It's not freely available as of now. So this is the level of comfort. So that loss in India is this. So this is the level of service. Uh, as per Indo HCM, pedestrian level of service for footpath is this. They have given a shy distance also. The shy distance, as I told to you, is the distance when if there is a wall or any obstruction or anything is there on the left and right side of my walking, I'll start walking little away from it, and that distance is known as a shy distance. So IRC has a very clearly defined under Indo HCM that fixed width, if there is a fixed object, physical width, any functionality unusable space and the buffer given to the object by the pedestrian. So that we call it as a shyness. So if there are benches are there, our shy distance is generally 0.3 to 0.5 meter, we'll just don't, touch the bench, but we'll just move slightly away from the bench. So if there is a wall, that shy distance is 0.4 to 0.6, मतलब half a meter almost. Guardrail is there, then we try to walk away. So if you just make a nice footpath and just put a guardrail over there, and the left hand side there's a wall, and you say my footpath width is 2 meter, and as a matter of fact, if I do this calculation, actually my footpath width is 1 meter, because 0.5 for wall to guardrail has actually gone. So the traffic sign is there, then we'll slightly try to move away from it. So these are the shy distance we are required to know when we do the calculation. These levels of service for the level of service are actually being given in the Indos with our code also, as well as in the IRC also. So let's just quickly I'm showing you the numerical problem. Let's but later on you can solve it. Suppose if there is a 2 meter wide ideal footpath with no obstruction around in transport terminal, with a wall on one side, while the other side is barricaded by guardrail. As I mentioned, the existing peak flow is 1800 pedestrian per 15 minutes. So we need to tell what is the present level of service of that footpath, and what will be the widening requirement to maintain that level service at C. Use the pedestrian LOC standard as defined by the Indo HCM in 2016. So now what has we tell that my footpath is a 2 meter wide, right? And they are saying 1800 pedestrians are crossing 15 minutes. So 1 minute rate I can calculate. Very important, they have told me that the wall is on the one side and the barricade is on the other side. So precisely my effective footpath width is at 1 meter, not a 2 meter. So when it is a 1 meter, it means I will define this pedestrian per meter, which is written in the commercial, is more than 13 or my level. I will calculate. So if the 1800 pedestrians are crossing per 15 minutes, how many are actually going to cross in 1 minute? Because here my levels are pedestrian per minute per meter, right? So it will be like 150. Oh, sorry. So next. So I'm just trying to solve this numerical problem now. So for example, terminal land use is given. So when it is a terminal, I can pick it up that it is a third. That is the thing which says that where my footpath is. It is a transport terminal. So when it is a terminal, I will be following the third column. So now shy distance. So my total width is 2 meter. So my effective width will be 1 meter only. So observed pedestrian flow. So I've given like 1800 pedestrian per 15 minute is given. So my per minute will be 120 per minute, right? So the pedestrian flow rate will be effective width, pedestrian flow rate 120 per minute divided by 1 meter, because my effective width is 1 meter and not 2 meter. Because there is a wall on the other side and there is a guardrail on the other side. So divide by 120 divided by 1, it is like 120 pedestrian per meter per minute. So if you just see the level of service chart, which is the terminal area, right? So my actually is 120. My level of service is F actually, right? Based on this, because 120, and after 78, the level of service is F. It means it is the footpath has a nice railing, everything is there. It is a 2 meter wide, but as a matter of fact, the level of service is F, right? I am falling into the last. Now, what my numerical is, they say I want to improve it to the level of service C. So if I have to make it as a level of service C, I need my flow rate to be between 26 to 32. So to manage that peak flow rate, I have to divide 120 by 30. So I'll get a 4 meter of effective width, modified width, considering given the shy distance, because they are saying the railing and wall is going to remain there. So precisely I need a 5 meter width wide footpath and an NMT zone area. If I want to improve my level of service from F2, if I want to improve the quality of my footpath from F to T. So that was the challenge, and this is how we can do the simple numerical mathematically. That simply just don't go by the drawings. Drawing has a basis. So whenever we are deciding the width of a footpath, where that footpath is going to be. For example, for a 1 kilometer of the road, you are designing the footpath. In the first 500 meters, there is a wall. So my width of the footpath will not going to be the constant 2 meter. For the initial phase, I may needed a 2.5 meter footpath, wide footpath, and where there is a no wall, a 2 meter wide footpath will also solve the same problem. So I hope it is a clear. I just added one numerical problem just to demonstrate you. So thank you very much. This was it. I just had added some of the case studies also initially to show you the pictures. So this is it from my side. Thank you very much. So over to
Thank you very much, sir. Wonderful presentation and very informative. We are hoping that our all fellow participants will take much more, advantage from your presentation. And you have explained very nicely from micro level to macro level regarding the, road safety, pedestrian, NMT concepts, and different type of, like uh, definition as per the World Health Organization, right? And regarding the road safety and regarding the walkability, how we can do that? Like you have also explained very nicely, reduced vehicle dominance, safer separation, like that, and you have also explained that in 500 Fortune companies, only two cars, Toyota and Volkswagen. So these are some very informative information from your presentation, sir. Wonderful. Thank you very much, sir. Now session is open for the participants for the question answer session. If anyone wants to ask the question, please raise hand so that Professor Dr. Harish Mittu sir will give you the rights and you will interact with Dr. Navdeep Hasija. Sir,
And I request the person that he or she will on his or her camera also while
yes.
interacting with sir.
So,
Tara ma'am want to say something. Yes, ma'am, please.
yes, I think I can't on my camera. I don't know why that is not coming. But yes,
Yeah, yeah, you are, ma'am.
yeah, yeah, I can.
Hello.
Yes. Right side with ma'am.
Yes, sir. I hope I'm audible. Not like
Yes,
yesterday.
yes.
I had some
You are
issue
visible
with
now
my.
also.
Yes. Uh,
Yes,
It has always been very insightful listening to Asija sir. He always rightly quotes each and every fragment of education that relates to walkability.
exactly.
I would also like to thank him that he remembers our LPU campus so much. But I would like to also add that I think any design needs to evolve time and again. So we are also trying to do the same. And all of us faculties here, and of course, whosoever has been to LPU would agree that we have our own challenges and we are fighting with the government on multiple things to get these issues sorted. However, I would like to thank sir for his really kind words, and I would like to also convey my heartiest congratulations to our dean sir, Dr. Architect Atul Singla, who's not here right now, but his endless endeavors in design and his global experience has carved the campus. So we are really proud of it. Thank you so much. My question today is on policy. that yes, it's wonderful to hear that a PIL has been done, and now it is being rightfully addressed in 2025 under the right to walk. But my question remains that the government still puts it on the people, that wherever, please correct me if I'm wrong, and I would like a little clarification on that, that does the government ask the people to find out what the design problems are? I mean, can we actually expect the people to have that much time to actually comment on each and every road and each and every footpath that exists or doesn't exist in India and come forth with design issues?
Yeah.
So I'm slightly confused on that. And also, with regard to the accident rates and everything, long time ago, I think Navdeep, Asija sir, and I were there in LPU in Right to Walk last year, I think, if I'm not wrong. And in that, Professor Geetam Tiwari, who's an emeritus professor, was also there. And she quoted that the number of pedestrian deaths has gone down. But again, I would like to question that how many pedestrians do you actually see walking on the road? So pedestrian deaths going down is, I don't think so. It is the right way to quote walkability. And my
Sir,
third question, of course, remains that we talk about, um, traffic counts and getting that data by studying the roads. But what if nobody is walking on the road? Then how do we calculate that how much of the traffic, pedestrian traffic, should the city be designed for? So I've given a lot to think about, but yes,
Yeah.
those are
So
my
the
three
very first,
questions.
yeah.
Thank you, sir.
So I'll just answer one by one. As far as the policy is, you know, uh, so for example, how Netherlands got a cycle track. There is a YouTube video. If you just see, there was some accident, and then the so civil society started protesting on the road, and as a result, the government is nothing but the index of the people. Our politician and our government is nothing but the way our society is actually, right? So now, with this, what happened is that power has actually been directly given to the people. So it is a judiciary, because they are directly government. It is a mandate on the government also. But with the judicial, because mandate on the government is from the day one of the government. Even if there is a no law, government can do n number of things for the people. But the judiciary felt the things are actually not happening the way it is supposed to. So now, how to accelerate that? So that's why there is a part of the power has been actually given constitutionally. The power is not with the bureaucracy now, but the power is with the citizens also, which is a superior power than anybody else, right? Without if and but. So now, if you see that things are not happening as per that, so as a balancing act, the power is with the people also. You can go and tell before that. Other than that, moving from A office to the B office and asking people to do that, and even if you will not do it, no one can stop them. But
Hmm.
now there is a law.
Hmm.
You can stop them. So it
Yes.
is it is government is anyway doing that, but
Hmm.
parallelly the power has been given to the citizen also, so that we can speed up certain things which are
Hmm.
actually now needed because there is a lot of delay.
Hmm. Also,
absolutely right, sir.
yeah. Also, I came across this Manik Manthan, which was a practice which was being done in Chandigarh. So they basically floated the policy or the draft of the walkable city, and they asked the citizens to come and comment on it while it was being shared. So it was an morning session in which there was a high tea for all the guests who had come. Unfortunately, I couldn't be there, but I had sent few of my representatives to attend the same. They showed a slide in which they were talking about the draft policy of walkability under the Bureau of Indian Standards. And they
Yes.
had categorically asked the people to write to the Joint Commissioner, who was a civil engineer, a lady, I presume. And you could email whatever you felt, about the draft. Unfortunately, the draft, even after logging in into BIS, I could not find that draft. Please share it with me if you have a copy of
Yes,
it.
yes. And
And
why
on the
why this is
contrary,
happening? I'll
sorry?
just quickly add to it as an answer, because why this is happening, because the judicial orders are for the governments also. that what you are doing for, the power has been given, that right to walk is a fundamental right. Now the power is with the citizen, and the same time they have asked in the next hearing to the government, what are you doing in order to ensure that right to walk is safely exist. So as a
Exactly.
result, the government has started making the favorable policies and the walkability. So
Mhm.
at least in the power sector, and no, sorry, in the power lobby, the
Mhm.
discussion on walking and cycling has started because the changes started happening.
Yes, but unfortunately, I ended up writing to that email address that was specified, and it came up with a very discouraging answer that, we've already incorporated a lot of suggestions, and the last date for that was 6th of August, which is like not even a month ago. But the lady very I don't
So,
know, she was slightly arrogant,
so
and she
I
said
mean,
that the last
so
date is
it's
over.
maybe that's a problem of an individual, but not a problem of the system. But at least system
Mm.
is opening up, with the idea. But sometimes
Mm.
it's an individual's
I'm
personality.
sure, with such great minds behind, everything that is happening
Yes.
as yours, definitely. I actually absolutely love and adore what Asija sir is doing. And for everybody here, I've been associated with him for almost 6 years, sir, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, more
Yeah.
than that, I believe.
So yeah. So when I
Prior to
started my
Corona.
PhD, and I was given his
So,
name by
Ji,
Tate sir, and it was wonderful working with you, sir. Thank you so much.
okay. Thank you,
Sir,
Professor
there
Dr.
is a
Tara
one
ma'am.
question. One question from
I,
Kevin Shah. Sir,
Yeah.
how it
yes,
is
sir. Please go through.
possible to achieve the higher workability while public authorities just want to remove the footpaths and want wall-to-wall roads and promote more motorized traffic?
So that's the same mindset problem. It's not, from where the city you belongs to or you are facing. It is everywhere. But that is what that there is a legal element to it, which I have showed you. A simple notice by a simple lawyer, I mean, to the authority, citing that a judgment can actually stop it. So that's the power has been given to the public, and such courses and such things are actually the sensitivity which needs to be said. You don't need to accept it because actually right now, as per the law, footpaths are the non-negotiable. You can actually reduce the width of a motor vehicle, motor carriageway, but you cannot actually touch upon the footpath as per the law because they are statutory and as mandated under the law now. So it's a
Yes,
very
sir.
powerful.
Absolutely
It's
right.
just you are supposed to exercise that right. You just don't need to sit at home and wait that somebody else will come and do that for you. Even if the authorities, certainly when we are into the client relation, we can't speak it up, but I'm sure there will be somebody who will doing your proxy to bring this change.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your wonderful presentation. And whatever the question asked by the participants, you have answered very well. I am requesting on behalf of our school, Lovely School of Architecture and Design, Lovely Professional University, can we organize jointly some more workshop on this particular topic so that we will aware our brother and sister of our Punjab, and this is proud moment for all of us that our state Punjab is number one in this particular, like ECBC also. So thank you very much. We are hoping that under your leadership we will achieve more success and zenith position in this particular field. Thank you, sir. We will be in
Thank you, sir.
contact with you. Thank you once again,
Thank you, sir. Thank
sir.
you.
Sir,
Thank
my
you.
request to sir and Nagina sir, sir, please take a group photograph with sir
Okay,
and
okay, yes, yes. Yeah, time is running, and our other expert is
Yeah,
here.
actually,
I am
I'm just
requesting.
getting a lot of question in chat also, but all I can request is if they can drop me an email or
Yes,
LinkedIn, I mean, I
yes, sir.
will
Yes,
answer
sir.
them. I'm
I'll
open to it.
share. Yes, sir.
Yeah. If there is my
I have
email, you can
I
share, and
yeah.
I will be
Basically,
happy to.
another important request from the participant side. Can you share your PPT number of participants also writing? Although I
Yes,
have
yes, yes.
already. Yes, sir. Regarding the
No,
PPT, sir,
no issues. I mean, it's a
we
public
will share
document,
in the
and
mail, sir, so that I'll share
yeah.
with other our fellow participant. Yes, sir. So all participants are requested, please open your camera so that our technical team under the leadership of Rahul sir and Professor Dr. Harish Mittu sir will take the beautiful and handsome photograph. Am I right, Ji? Please, requesting all. I am requesting Architect Sangeet Sharma sir, please switch on your camera, sir. Architect Sangeet sir. Sir is here.
It's on again, Ji. It's on. My
Yes,
camera is
sir.
on.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very good evening, sir. Welcome, sir.
Good
So
evening. God
now,
bless
now
you.
we can start the second session by the permission of our second expert for the today's session, day 3, session 6. Can we start now, sir?
Yes, I'm ready.
Yes.
Thank you.
So, very good evening, everyone. Once again, present here. It is our honor and privilege as the coordinator and co-coordinator, Dr. Harish Mittu sir, and team LSAD, Lovely School of Architecture and Design, Lovely Professional University, for conducting this ATAL FDP Faculty Development Program to welcome you all. Session 6 scheduled right now. We are delighted to welcome renowned architect of India, Architect Sangeet Sharma, who is not only renowned in India, although acclaimed, internationally acclaimed architect. I want to share one great achievement by Architect Sangeet Sharma sir has achieved in very recently, Architect of the Year award by Economics Times in Mumbai, Maharashtra. And this particular Architect of the Year award by Economics Times is the 27th award individually by an architect. I think this is great achievement. He is also the founder chairman of A3 Foundation, A3 Foundation Chandigarh. I think that A3 Foundation awarded more, more and more thousands of budding architects, authors, and faculty of architecture, like A3 Foundation Teacher Award, A3 Foundation Literacy Award, like that. So these are the particular. Besides this, sir has authored different type of books. Uh, we are, delighted, and he is also the partner architect at SD Sharma Associates Chandigarh, coming from a legacy of great architectural vision. He himself has emerged as a thought leader, a creative practitioner, and a passionate voice in contemporary Indian architecture, and acclaimed and renowned globally also. Today, he will be speaking on a streetscape and the nature of Chandigarh. Chandigarh, the city, beautiful. Chandigarh is not just a city, it is an idea, a living laboratory of modern urbanism and a symbol of India's post-independence aspirations. The streetscape of Chandigarh embody the harmony between the functionality and beauty, between human scale and monumental vision. This, this session is more than a technical exploration. It is an invitation to reimagine how streets, as the most democratic public spaces, can shape the soul of our cities. Streets are where culture lives, where communities connect, and where the future of sustainable human urban life will unfold. Architect Sangeet Sharma sir insights will guide us to look beyond concrete and aspire to see the streets as a living organisms, designed not only for the movement but also for joy, happiness, identity, and belongingness. His vision reminds us that architecture and planning are not just about building cities, but about saving civilization. I warmly welcome Architect Sangeet Sharma sir to this FDP and invite requesting all my fellow participants to engage deeply with his thoughts. Let us open our minds hearts to the possibility of creating streets and cities that reflect the highest aspirations of humanity. Welcome you once again, sir, and over to you, sir. Sir,
Thank you, Nagendaji. Thank you. Am I audible, sir? Am I audible?
yes, sir, you are audible.
Thank you so much, Nagendaji, for this very kind introduction and very warmly introducing me. Thank you very much, sir. And you have introduced the topic, the city of Chandigarh, very nicely. You have already laid the beautiful foundation of what I have to speak. In fact, with this, my things have become much easier because you have laid laid a beautiful foundation. And thank you very much, lovely Professional University, for inviting me. And thank you, Atulji. Thank you, Taraji, and thank you the whole team for this privilege. I'm very happy to be speaking to everybody. And if you permit, I will start my. I'll share my screen. I'm sharing my
Yes,
screen.
sir, yes, sir. Sir, please.
Nagendaji, audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir.
Okay,
Presentation
and
is also coming, sir.
you can see. Okay,
Yes, yes.
so friends, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to talk about uh, the nature of Chandigarh. Of course, the basic topic is streetscape, and I need to tell briefly, which you people might not have heard. We all have read about uh, Chandigarh, but I need to tell you a little story. Why do these cities or these phenomena happen in the world? They are the changes which brings in a supreme change in humanity and in civilization. In every century, there is a changeover when in Roman era or Egyptian era, and even in India with the Mohenjo-daro and Chandigarh. These things bring in a sort of strong revolution, and somehow I think the visionaries such as Corbusier or Mies van der Rohe, Frank Lloyd Wright, all those great architects, great minds, uh, leave us asking questions like, really, architecture can't be so small because what they do is job of a visionary. And somehow we learn this from Chandigarh because I belong to this place, born here, and I work here, and it's 50 years since office is in place, and uh, everybody calls him a genius. I'm going to discuss with my friends online how does a person become a genius? Not because he can make one beautiful building or he's something which can devise a methodology to implement aesthetics or construction. I think it's something more than that. And I always say that it was Leonardo da Vinci who was the transformer of the civilization, who made the first scale, which is that famous man standing with open legs and hands. And it took 100 years for Le Corbusier to create the second scale, modular, not because he wanted mathematics, but I think he wanted poetry in the modern context. And we all know concrete was something which was very important. And I always quote it as three C's also in my book, which I refer that Chandigarh, concrete, and Corbusier came together. But the divine universe, it was something which, I mean, just imagine that Albert Mayer and Matthew Nowinski was working on it, and but by the dint of fate, Matthew Nowinski died in a plane crash, and how Le Corbusier was called in. We all know the stories, and if the people don't know, You're welcome to see the architecture museums in Chandigarh, or ask me and read my books. Uh, I always feel that people who have to bring in a massive change are a gift of God. And Chandigarh, I'm not saying that it is one of the greatest city in the world, or it has no flaws, or it is something which is, made by godhood. But nevertheless, it is something unique. And after 70 years, the very fact that I'm talking to you all, there must be something right. So, what is right? I'm going to speak in the next not more than 30 minutes so that the right thought can be expressed soon and not long. Look at these pictures. I'm going to go briefly because I believe that the audience is from far and wide, from all over India. People who may not know the story, this is partition, and therefore, to establish the spirit and potential of independent India, to bring the glory of the people who left everything in Lahore in Pakistan, and they walked into Indian periphery. So I think the first president wanted to give some glory to the people who lost everything, and he thought of Chandigarh. What more better way to usher India into the modern world but through architecture? And we all know what is architecture is, whether it is victory, defeat, love, glory, it is all represented by architecture. We have great monuments in India, we have great monuments world over, so that it actually exhibits the potential of the human spirit, the human being, and therefore Chandigarh. Few very prestigious pictures you can see, and unless you are emotionally aware of the story, the why of the problem. If I start something, okay, this is the city, this is the layout, it's immaterial. It doesn't make any sense because we all can read about it. We all have read about it. The Google can tell you in a second what is Chandigarh. But what I'm going to tell you, the why of it, what made these things, what today if you're talking of one aspect, say about roads and traffic, but I can't just go on to that until I tell you what the motive behind it. It was essentially to rehabilitate refugees. By the way, my father came from Sialkot, and he was about 18 years old. And so we have or somebody in the family, my grandparents, my father, who know the story. I'm a son of a refugee, and I'm very proud of it. And due to the sheer dent of hard work and practice, he made a name. He's 93, still working in the office, which is very very blessing for all of us, the family, the fraternity, the city, and overall the Indian architecture. It was also to create a center for state governance. Now, here lies the importance. The city was the place of state governance. It was not something to show off. It was not something to expose to the world that we are making those very tall buildings and trying to invite people to be a part of the exploration. It was simply a place of governance. B, to rehabilitate refugees. C, the rich legacy of Lahore, which was left in Pakistan, they wanted to recreate. Of course, uh, one does not, the visionaries don't copy. They don't need to have, a sample by which they feel that this is the rich legacy. They create their own. But of course, Lahore was beautiful. And when people say that if you haven't seen Lahore, you have seen nothing, and create a symbol of spirit and potential of independent India. So when you have designed and desire to create a place for the potential of independent India, it means you are suddenly changing over from the colonial past to the modern world. 47, we got independence. 52, we laid the foundation of Chandigarh. In 5 year span, imagine what a strong political will it would be that we started the project, and it came as a big blessing. Otherwise, as they say, that Indian architects otherwise would be making only Havelis and forts and palaces which no more existed. Directly or indirectly, friends, all of us, particularly the first generation of Indian architects, were influenced by Chandigarh slash Le Corbusier. There were other architects also working at that time in India. We had Otto Koensberger, we had Lutyens, we had Baker, and Louis Kahn, of course, came a little later. So I think we're pretty blessed that on an Indian soil we had the germination of the modern architecture. In fact, all the policies and polemics of the modern architecture movement germinated, exploded on the Indian soil. We have all the masters of the world almost who and worked here. Every city, in fact, every construction activity, everything starts from a location. The very idea of location of Chandigarh, if you see, very few people have asked this question, friends. I mean, why here? 6 months elapsed between the planners and the IS officers where the city should be located. I'm talking because I know I'm talking of the horse's mouth. I know the story. It should be near Delhi. If it was near Delhi, it would be more imposed. The impositions would be more from political circle. If it was more towards Shimla, it would get much difficult for construction. The temperatures would be very, very cold. So it was desired to be on a plain level, plain land, which was this where the Chandigarh now exists. So we have a lot of original drawings and survey maps, which now we have passed on to the SEPT archives um, to keep and retain all my father's materials and drawings, sketches, everything for the world to see, for the whole world to use and refer. So selection of the site was more important, and I just told you why it was done like this. 260 kilometers north of Delhi, we needed water. So on the sides of this master plan, you can see two rivulets. They're like arms. The water was done. We needed breeze and air, and we wanted view. So it was proximity to the hills. We had a gentle gradient for natural drainage, which was available, and of course free from physical encumbrances with mango groves and temples marking site. Where would we find this beautiful place? 50% of job of getting a wonderful city of Chandigarh was because of its location. Anywhere you go wrong or anywhere you up and down, little up and down, it would be horrible. We have seen the rains in the last few days. We have seen the incessant flooding. Of course, the water stopped on the roundabouts a little, but then nothing else happened. And we know what happened to the roads of Punjab in Chandigarh. All is fine. So the proof and the test of times is there for 70 years to be seen. We, as the story goes, we had agricultural land. The the people here, the farmers were compensated, they were vacated amicably, of course, and we placed all the sites. It was designed by Matthew Nowitzki first, and uh, all the villages were of course treated well, and the mango groves were kept in one place. And how beautifully the mango groves were used, I'll tell you. Just we heard a lecture of Sir prior to mine, how beautifully he said that the human being, the human scale is so important. Everything is revolves around the human being. Whatever we may do, we are bringing man closer to nature, and that I think is uh, the biggest contribution of the architect. And you can see the saying below that he cautioned the world by saying that sun, space, and verdure are the ancient influences which have fashioned our body and our spirit, isolated from the natural environment. Le Corbusier felt that we need sun, we need space, and we need greenery. Imagine a city which begins with these three things, not drawing lines and not the scale and not the dimensions, housing, etc., etc. No, nothing like that. It is first the division of the land based on the sun path, how you place your how would you place your buildings, how would the greenery enter into every nook and corner. Even a peon's house in Chandigarh have a small garden in the front, a small garden at the back. There seems to be no differentiation per se, that you natural things must be available to all. And that's one of the first important things which I want to highlight, because I'm coming to where the real point we're going to discuss today. It is important for you to understand the sun path, the orientation, how it helped and developed the circulation systems. These are the some of the precious drawings we have, and in our collection, how making of sectors and the typical colors which Le Corbusier used, and you know he says that colors are to not to be used for highlighting; they are to be used for differentiating. And the soil of Chandigarh, how it was to be allocated. These are the first sketches, and my father says, one of the very few living who have witnessed making of the city. Of course, he witnessed the whole city from day one. Very beautiful pictures. They reveal so much stories. They say that a good picture doesn't need to be spoken about. On the left, we have the master plan in clay, and the hills at the back. On the right, we have Le Corbusier with his magnificent open hand, and below is the model of secretariat and all the IS peoples who are behind Jawaharlal Nehru. Being a democratic city, the emphasis was on the government buildings. By the way, friends, everything in Chandigarh, except for the individual houses, belongs to the government. And very well kept, appreciated, dealt with, and loved. A lot of people, a lot of IS officers come and they rebel against the इसमें क्या है, what's so much about heritage and what's so much about preservation, and but then I think after a few months they live here and then they don't want to go back. The price of the property in Chandigarh, friends, is equal to Mumbai, equal to New York. It's one of the most expensive cities in India, highest per capita income and anywhere else in India, highest possession of vehicles, top end vehicles in a family in India. And the best part is people ask me, saying, sir, what is the avenue of earning in Chandigarh? I said, we have no agriculture, we have no industry, we don't manufacture anything, and yet everybody's a landlord. It's an urbanity. I'm coming to what my friends are here for to listen. On the right hand side, we can see how the split of the whole master plan is done. Straight edges is not alien to the Indian eye. We have Jaipur in this regard. But the only question is that it is the first city in the world which has its stomach cut into the green belt. First, the last city in the world. I mean, just imagine the courage of a visionary, of an architect who would actually go about making a chalk and making a line. This is going to be the green patch. And how you assemble it, how are you going to join those sectors, how are you going to manipulate the whole thing. My goodness, I mean, we see today and we just smile and say wow, but at that time while doing this it would have been so difficult. Albert Mayer's master plan was circular, semicircular, sketchy, abstract, oval. Then came Corbusier. Overnight, he made it straight. A lot of people ask me why. We have a lot of theories about it. But I must tell you just one word, because Le Corbusier knew that the future of the world lies in automobile. It is the automobile which is going to rule the streets, and the straight roads are more approachable. They are more accessible. They are less in traffic hazard, less accident prone, and more manageable. He had been working on these policies for many years. The best part is Le Corbusier got this project at the age of 65, where most of us want to retire. And he had about 40 years behind his back. So when he got this project, he grabbed it and applied all what he had actually implemented, learned, unlearned, or thought that I have something great in my heart, in my mind, and this is the place where you implement. And that's why we have all the best possible mind of and genius of Le Corbusier, right from town planning, architecture, building, streetscape, horticulture, all those things which today we talk about sustainability was already existing 60 years ago in Chandigarh. Dividing the whole site in sector was a good policy. It was important to give uh, the person living there accessibility. It was important for people who living in housing at that time. Mind you, India was not used to of housing. We all are used to of living in our independent houses and with a lot of open courtyard and this and that. So suddenly, even if Chandigarh introduced G+2 at the time, and we had no lifts, at the time, and That also became, it had to be really implemented very casually, very carefully, drafted into the minds of users, that it's not something unhealthy. And therefore all the uh, terrace gardens and terrace sleeping, for washing clothes. So the housing in Chandigarh, we have, I think, 13 of it, different types by Pierre John Ray, Maxwell Fry, Jane Drew. Unique, absolutely beautifully designed for a common man, and purely based on the usability, the functioning by the, particularly the Punjabi community who would use it. Going very quickly, all of us know about Chandigarh. All of us know about the master plan. I've told you the story behind it, the emotion behind it. Chandigarh, actually, in fact, is not just a city, it's an emotion, simply because it was made out of chaos. So anything which is developed out of chaos needs to be more artistically, sensibly implemented. We architects cater to rich people, people who have the money. So we have the virgin barren land, and we can do what we like. But when you're building something out of chaos, you need more sensibilities, and that is the success of Chandigarh. Going forward, essentially the top is the bureaucratic capital complex, and the MLAs and other people live in the top sectors. In the center is the city center, sector 17, and the railway station is little kept away. And Corbusier did not make this master plan. He only made half of it. He only designed the buildings for 1.5 lakhs people. Today, the population of Chandigarh itself is about 14 lakhs, and thankfully, we have no roadblocks, except for a little short time, say by between 9:30 to 10. There are no traffic jams as of now. So the moment you differentiate your master plan into living, working, care of body and spirit, and circulation. Living, working, care of body and spirit, I've touched a bit. We are here to talk about circulation, right? And all that which he did, which Corbusier worked on, writing about, professing about the clarity, purity of circulation, the vehicle movements, the parking, and etc., was now to be implemented. Very rare pictures. Um, in the center is the foundation stone by Jawaharlal Nehru. Some black and white pictures of the time, that era, uh, and and you we have geniuses working in Chandigarh. Very strange, an Indian city developed by four foreigners. A lot of people ask me when I go talking abroad, and I keep talking about Chandigarh. They say, were they acquainted with the weather conditions, the climatology, the nature of people, the culture of the area? I said, look at it, go see it, go feel it. They were more Indian than us. I don't think a lot of people from South who are on this panel would know that Pierre Genre, his cousin, said that after I die, my ashes must be immersed in Sukna Lake. Imagine that kind of devotion, passion, and they had with India's Indian cities. Quickly, let's talk of densities. Phase one, just about 1.50 lakh population. So sectors were 1 to 30, and phase 2, it was 31 to 47. The pattern increased. Thankfully, we had sectors, and we could actually pull them up. You could just pull those sectors and expand it, and they go as phase 1. You can see the slide and you understand how quickly the development of the city took place from sector 15 to sector 53, and phase 1, 2, 3, and the 10-mile green belt and the man-made lake, and how the zoning was important. The circulation is implemented. Circulation is successful if your planning is correct. No amount of circulation, no amount of road patterns, no amount of talking in that language will help if your planning is incorrect. In Chandigarh, why I'm talking about it? Because the planning was near perfect. The sectors were there. It was divided by roads, and therefore the circulation system became little more confident. Some of the principles while designing Chandigarh. And, we all know that Chandigarh is of concrete and brick as the main material, and simple traffic systems. Simple, of course, but then there are systems. You if you divide the word as simple traffic system, it is a system, and therefore it is simple. If there was no system, it would be chaos. And the very fact that Chandigarh could grow so easily, it could, keep on assimilating and adopting to the population, the immigration. The people wanted to have a piece of cake in this city. Everybody, so it took it in itself. It blended and lent itself to the various onslaughts of population. It's still doing. The analogy which Le Corbusier did was that capital complex was the head, and center was the heart, and lungs were the leisure valley, and the limbs were, of course, the cultural and institutions. The circulating system was V7. V7 was not something unique for Chandigarh. Friends, Corbusier was doing this for many years, and he did this first experiment for UNESCO, which probably could not get implemented. So he had this tool in his hand, which very effectively he brought into Chandigarh. At the time, when there was hardly any vehicle on the roads, I have pictures in my father's files where we have 80 feet wide road with a bullock cart and one rickshaw, and captions that this man is, eating away the Indian sparse money, etc., etc. But as I said, they are the visionaries. So he developed system of V7. Frankly speaking, quickly speaking, fastest roads when you enter into the city is V1, and the arterial roads around the sector is V2. V3 is fast vehicular sector dividing the roads. Then V4, the shopping street. V5 is sector inside. V6 is access to the houses, and V7 is the footpaths or cycle tracks.
Coco.
So the sector is 800 meters by 1200 meters. It's a typical modular scale. And sector is a city in itself, and population varies between 3,000 to 20,000 depending on the size of the plots. The density, of course, in the southern sectors is increasing, and we have a vision. We know how to go about, and therefore, so far so good. I said V1, friends, is the entry into the city, and V2 and V3 roads you can see on the right side of the picture, which is very easy, and we have a lot of pavements. We have plantations. So in Chandigarh, you see a lot of you don't see the width of a city per se. We know that there's a huge road, but then it is embellished with horticulture, with trees and all these plantations, which are very beautiful, and we have named this path as Vidya Path and Chandi Path, etc., etc. V4, uh, all the shopping streets, all the shopping which happens, as you see on the right hand side, is on the V4. Um, Roads start from bigger width sections. I'll just come to that. I'm just giving a quick introduction. I'll make it slightly more quicker. It's 8:30. V5 roads are that circulate through the entire sector. Um, you know, as you move inside the sector, the road starts becoming to narrow down because he felt that the speed of the vehicle governs the section of the road. Then the V6 and narrow lanes, and how each road is managed. The height of the houses, we have a straight picture there, is kept straight. You don't see in Chandigarh up and down, up and down. That elevational line is fixed. We have lures if we need to. Then we have the horticulture, the plantations on that road. We have pavements, beautifully designed things, and V7 is the pedestrian, and the cyclists are very active these days. So there's a separate path, as in Europe, you see. That's a concept which is very popular in Amsterdam and other European cities where cycle is used. And certainly there is a now fad of, in Chandigarh to possess cycles. And this is the hierarchy, and the mango grooves, which are kept on a side, become uh, a buffer between the little industrial area we have in IT parks and the city inhabitants. I don't think Likabuz will ever imagine that we'll have a IT park outside the city, and Elante malls and all those places will be converted into very happening areas. But nevertheless, I think as a visionary, he knew how to tackle them. Uh, the center space, the green valley, just see how beautiful it is kept. Uh, Quickly, I'm going to take you to one sector so that my friends can, in the next 10 minutes, understand the system of roads and we can culminate it. Sector 19. This is a case study done by one of our students, in our office, and my request would be that please do not use any of these things in your case, in your studies. This has a copyright, although I've sent it to LPU, but kindly do not use without permission. The sector is there on the right hand side, and we can see that how it is enclosed. So the roundabouts which they do is the highest roads, the widest. These are certain parameters which we have mentioned, and the areas of the sector is there, and the density which is planned. So let's assume one sector 19 as one city. Let's assume it's as a city. So we have entered through V1, and the V2, the road, which is marked in red, also divides two sectors. It is beautifully landscaped. So the division is not geographical, it is implied. Yet the sector has got its own identity. That's V2. Uh, Say in a sector we have all these kinds of education buildings, we have sports facilities, recreation buildings. So you see on your left hand side how uh, the blue lines, the V4 which cuts, and the V3, the main road in the center, how they are, actually, they merge into each other. You don't actually feel that this road is big, which is becoming smaller. So it is so beautifully managed. All the traffic zones is so beautifully managed that you actually reduce your speed as you keep entering into the sector. And beautiful example is that we still do not have traffic lights inside, except for barring the entrance when you enter the city. Of course, now with with the traffic which is growing inside, we still do not have traffic lights. The roundabouts are still working, and as you go, you see the roundabout, you lessen your speed because you know you have to turn a bit left and negotiate yourself to go straight, and it's working. It's working very fine. In fact, the roundabouts people have now adopted to make it more beautiful. If you see a sector, why these V7s are required? Say residential, commercial, public, semi-public, green areas, transportation. So all these areas, if you mark here, the center area, the roundabouts outside V2, and then inside, then we have V3s and the V4, which cuts the sector into two. So all the shopping areas, commercial areas on that road. And beautifully speaking, we have, I'll skip this slide, not required. Residential green and areas are earmarked. This is just a study for you to understand of one sector. Very it's it I can keep talking about Chandigarh for days and days, but I thought that I will concise it into this. So every sector, like for example, this has got certain amount of dedicated zones of residential, commercial, green, public, normal. It's in every sector. So based on this, Le Corbusier, the planner, made its roads very accessible, very beautiful. You can see this. Uh, the blue is V2. I'm sure by this time uh, my friends have understood. The purple is V3, just 24, 55 meters, 24 meters. We are entering that. Now the V2 is the divider, like it's the main road which comes from outside, and then there is V3, which holds the city together. It's the boundary line. V4 is again the blue, which cuts the sector into two, which has got most of its commercial there. And then V5, we have 12 meters wide, which is again uh, getting more into the sector, becoming more narrower. And then we have V6, 5 to 7 meters, going into the houses, into the lanes. And of course, we have V7 as somewhere it is a service block and service areas, and somewhere it is the cyclist. I'm sure this one piece of slide uh, tells everything, and I don't need to speak much about what is the circulation pattern, the importance of laying the roadmap. We always use this phrase, can we have the roadmap of how we're going to proceed? This is the roadmap of actually the roads how people are going to use. Some very important pictures, friends. Uh, I'm talking to the faculty, so it had to be something more than what I speak to the students. So V3, if we see in sector 19 and 27, is wide enough, and V5 we have the neighborhood street, the service lanes, the commercial areas. I'll now come to the sections and quickly you will understand how are the widths divided, how a road is divided. Say if it is 30 meters, how do you break it up? Why do you break it up? It's like this. Now this is V2, the one which encompasses the sector. So the thought is 70-year-old. Imagine. Now we have four different lanes. We know that this is going to be uh, car lanes, and we have a bus, and then we have a bus stand. So for that we have 2.7 meters allocated. Beautiful. And then we have 1.8 for the cyclists or the payments, and then we have the beautiful tree, and then the civic lane. My goodness. And now we realize living here that how imaginative, how sensible was the traffic planning here. And the worst part is that a lot of people ask me why we could not make one more Chandigarh. And I only say that I think it needs a genius to copy a genius. We have a living laboratory. We have a living example, and we could not replicate it. It's very sad. Look at this. This is how the V2 is divided. So we have the burns in the center, and the two cars can easily crisscross because when you're coming from outside, you're on a particular speed. So speed is the essence of road planning. When we have V3, friends, it is comparatively reduced, and we have for two cars, central berm, side berm, bicycle lane. It's all very clear. I mean, once cat speaks, I don't need to actually speak. And then the housing on the right hand side, housing is restricted. So it's not that it's a 6 story or 10 story building and then we have this. No, that also limits. And because of the housing, the horticulture, the lamppost, the section of the road is all interdependent. So when you say, uh, we heard in the schools and colleges that you plan in totality. This little section is the planning in totality. There's nothing more to it. So you're becoming smaller. We have V4, 24 meters. Please remember V4, the shopping areas. So there is going to be a lot of traffic here and there, and the roads which is going inside the sector has reduced to this. So 3 meters, zero point 0.9, 3 meters, zero point 0.6 the burns, and then we have pedestrian, bus stand, and sidewalk. See how with the road there's a lot of space kept for pedestrians so that we don't people don't actually walk on the roads. Magnificent, absolutely, and very simple to understand. Nothing much to talk about. Then we have V5. It's a carriageway which enters into the deeper into the sector. So we have two cars positions from 5 to 3 to 2, which is going into the more in depth. And then we have the V6, which is just outside our houses, or lanes or by lanes. Of course, now we have so many cars that everything is occupied. All the bumps are occupied. You can see those pictures. So I'm giving you live shots, live examples. But then this is the kind of approach of the vehicular systems which happen. if I talk about the residential, which is land use mix, and why this, it's not just to tell you that why pedestrian networks were important, and bicycle lanes, the transit mode function are very, very important in these areas, supporting retails and services, and where there is commercial office, so all these are mixed land use developments with density, and so where the system of transportation has been governed so far so well. If I mark my sector, I'm talking of only one sector, friends. The red is institutional, healthcare, educational, services. I realize that Le Corbusier placed its one activity at one place. Now I don't have institutional areas spread out, and therefore create chaos. So the whole idea of management was to place your uh, work zones in a typical area zones, so that you can approach it and then you culminate it. If I'm going to a place, I have all the healthcare in one area, education's a little spread out, okay, services. So I don't need, so I'm trying to stop the chaos which traffic can create by planning my sector usability carefully. I started my lecture by saying that it's the planning which is important, and followed by the circulation, not otherwise. Some of the buildings today, and how they are, uh, you know, connected with the roads. You can see no hang-ups about typical that Delhi style entry into the buildings, which hardly they're honking this and that. No, nothing of this kind. Commercial typologies are there. Even in the ready markets, in front of the shopping areas, there is ample parking. See, parking is becoming a problem day by day. I'm not trying to advocate that Chandigarh is going to be same after say 10, 15 years or 20 years. But nevertheless, it's, as I said, so far so good. We have these encroachments, we have slums. That's okay. We're talking of traffic today. Uh, Housing typologies, just for the information of my friends here, that housing, this is how it is spread, and larger houses are on the sides, and as you go inside, the more dense it becomes. And on the V4 is the shopping, so there is a even division between the people on the left and the right, and being central zone on the V4, much can be accessible. So this is, if you see the typologies, we'll leave this, and the gardens, how they are, how the roads either are moving along the greenery, or they're merging into the greenery. So all these, if you see the green areas left in a sector, they're so beautiful. I mean, leave aside the maintenance, which is obviously there 90%, but then how the roads along it are so beautiful. So everything is taken in a totality. This is what is called as holistic planning. If you see on the right hand side, there's a bench. Even that is designed. The street furniture in Chandigarh is a part of thesis which people are doing. Public buildings, if you see the roads there, because of the paved area, because of the large area left outside the road, thank God the two-wheelers, the cyclists have a place to park. uh, Traffic noise was conducted, and we could make so much sense that with the larger traffic makes so much of noise, so we just kept at one side. And I don't know how decomposed your thought of this, that because of more traffic it will be more noise, so keep that out, so make it more wider, and as you go inside it becomes narrower. Just trying to show you some houses, friends, that these are the by per genre. And if you see the plan there, how from the main road you enter into the house after little garden, so the roads are having berms. You don't actually enter into the house straight away into the plot. So even that has been so beautifully designed. And you can see how the cyclist is moving very carefully, carefree, because the garden is fenced, and you're going in and out very easily. Again, the roads, again the pattern of the streets. So the houses are designed based out of the traffic system, which is laid first, and the houses and the housing are around it. They both are thought in tandem. Sometimes what happens in today's world, that you're making houses. Let's put the density first, and then see what is left is the vehicular, or the roads. It's not like that in Chandigarh. I think the best part is how the holistic planning is done. Again, same kind of entry. I'm going slightly fast. I can, of course, I'm sure it's 8:45, and people must be a little bit hungry. So we have this kind of, even it's a small plot, and there's a green, and then there's a road, and outside the porch it leads straight away onto the road, casually, slowly, not straight away hitting into the high traffic. That's why the roads are smaller. Similar justification which I'm giving. And all these are master architects, all Pierre Genre, Maxwell Fry, Jane Drew. Housing in itself is a great topic which I can talk for days. And how the small houses like this have also a quite reasonably wide road with the pedestrian area. That's marvelous. And well, friend, thank you so much for your time. And I thought that uh, I don't want to make it very 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 long. So I just hope that I could convey what is required, and I could make sense of what I'm speaking. Thank you so much, and Nagendra sir, and thank you very much, LPU, for this opportunity. Um, yes, please.
Thank you very much, sir, for the wonderful presentation. Harish sir, can you stop the sharing?
No, that will be stopped by the sir only, sir.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll do it.
Yeah. So wonderful presentation, sir. Basically, you have explained very nicely, and you have. We are hoping that all participants have enjoyed a lot after going through the presentation. You have explained very nicely from initial stages of Chandigarh during the partition time, and compared Albert Mayor's plan with Le Corbusier's plan, and you have also explained your presentation super block dimensions that and each block consists of different type of schools, different type of buildings, different type of required amenities. You have also explained about the design approaches regarding the designing of the Chandigarh and different type of phase development, transportation systems that include the V1 to V7, and explained very nicely about the different hierarchy of the roads that include the V2 55 meter, V3 24 meter, V4 24 meter, V5 12 meter, V6 5 to 7 meter, and service lane. So we are hoping that this is very nice presentation, and we all have great, knowledge, and we have taken great advantage from your presentation, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful presentation once again. And we are hoping that uh, you will impart your expertise and design to our fellow participants. And I know you are also the traveling in whole India for exclusively for upgrading and to wear the budding architects and young rising architects also. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Now
Thank you, sir.
session is
Thank you
open.
so much.
Yes, and now session is open for the answer question. If anyone be interested, please raise hand. And yeah, number of question here. Uh, uh, Harish sir, can you go through, sir, one by one?
Uh, no, sir. Questions are not there in the chat box. They are only.
Hey,
Yes,
sir, we are truly okay. Praising some. Can you go through whatever the matches written here?
yes. Please, on your camera for group photograph with our esteemed resource person also. So it's a request to everyone, and ask your questions and queries, whatever you think that is important.
Okay,
Because
so see, this is the focus of any people. Our FDB team, led by Professor Dr. Harish Mitto Sahab and Rahul ji, is focusing on the photographers. Okay, so I am requesting to all participants, please switch on your camera. If you are here, switch on your camera so that our team will take your handsome and beautiful photograph for the record purpose. Reason is that this
it,
photograph will this
it's
photograph.
privilege to us also to take
Yes,
the
yes,
photograph with the sir.
Right.
exactly.
Thank you so
So
much.
that is the part also, and basically these photographs will be sent by our team to the Ministry of Education, Government of India, for the record purposes also.
Nagendra
So
sir,
yes, sir.
I was truly mesmerized listening the or going through the presentation of Sangeet sir, and I have given my comment there in comment box.
Yes, yes. Welcome, welcome, Professor S.K. Sarkar Sahab. I think you are from Uttarakhand, Dehradun.
Dehradun.
Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
yes,
Thank
please.
you.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Shall I read out?
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Why not?
I
If
wrote,
possible, you will
sir,
switch
we
on
are
your
truly
camera.
enlightened and delighted to learn from you about the aesthetics and thoughtful planning of the unique city Chandigarh. Your holistic presentation felt like a harmonious collaboration of Chitra and Sangeet, enriched with the precision of mathematics and the artistry of Leonardo. We are truly mesmerized, Professor Sangeet, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank
Thank
you,
Uh,
you so
sir.
much.
uh, uh, Professor Dr. S.K. Sarkar Sahab, can you share your affiliation of the university?
Yes, Graphigara Hill University.
Okay, Graphic Rahil University, Dehradun, right, sir?
Dehradun.
Thank you very much, Professor Dr. S.K. Sarkar Sahab.
Thank you.
Sir,
Thank you, sir.
Sangeet sir, please.
But sorry,
Um,
I cannot open my camera. Some problem, technical problem is going on.
no problem. Thank you very much for your comments, sir.
Thank
And
you, sir.
I look forward to impart more knowledge.
Yes, sir.
Always available
I,
for any
I want to
queries.
have some interaction with mail if I get your email ID, sir.
Sure, sir. Sure.
I'll share, sir.
Nagendra
I'll
sir
share.
will
I'll share.
give
Yes,
my.
sir. Thank you,
Please
sir.
put the mail ID on the group.
Yeah.
Anybody is most
Because
welcome.
very often I go to Chandigarh. I like the city,
Welcome, sir.
Kalagram, museum,
Yes.
that art galleries, College
Yes.
of Art.
Yeah.
So I'm totally attached with this city.
Please share my mail ID and my phone number, sir. Everybody is welcome. We do
Okay.
this. We
Yes,
do
sir.
this for
Thank
the
you.
whole world. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Professor Dr. S.K. Sarkar Sahab.
Sir, I give you right again and again. You
Thank you.
decline for the camera. If you accept my permission, Dr. Sarkar, you will get the access to camera.
Sarkar
So
sir,
actually, we are not getting any thing as such that we are not able to
Please
switch
no,
raise
on
your
ma'am.
hand.
cameras
Ma'am, please
also.
raise
Listen.
your hand. You will get the access to camera.
Yes. I am requesting all interested participants, if you want to interact with very, very renowned Indian architect, internationally acclaimed architect, and there is a great chance to you people to interact with architect Sangeet Sharma sir. So interested people will raise hand so that Professor Dr. Harish Mithu sir will give you the rights and you will directly interact. I think uh, Dr. Yogita Nagpure from Bengaluru want to interact, sir. Suchita, Sujita ma'am also want to interact, I think.
Yes, please continue.
Anjali ma'am, please raise hand so that Professor Dr. Harish Mittu Sahab and Rahul sir will give you the rights to interact with
We are giving
our.
the rights, but they are declining every time the rights.
Okay, so please, when sir will give you rights, there is some message. Then you
Panel.
will able to switch on your camera. So
The
please,
message is promote to panelist. Then you will get
Architect
the
Kapil
right
Rao,
also.
Architect Kapil Rao ji also want to interact, I think. Your camera is on. You will just unmute now. Anjali ji. Anjali NAV 139. I think some technical glitch from. Okay, just go through the question, sir, if something.
I think we can always share my mail ID and my number. If anybody is most welcome to contact me directly, also mail me also.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sure, sir. Sure.
Can we switch on camera, Harish sir?
Yes, sir. From my side, I give the rights, but they are not accepting now. So only those who accept, they are able to log on their camera.
Okay. The architect Arunakshi ma'am, I think. Unmute, ma'am. Unmute your camera, please. Unmute the
Mike.
mic, please. Camera is on. I think Professor Swati Behal ma'am also want to interact.
Hi,
Very good
Swati.
evening, ma'am. Welcome, ji.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Hi, Swati. Hi, Swati. How are you? Good to
Good,
see you.
good, good, sir. Always nice to hear Chandigarh once again.
Thank you. Thank you always. Thank you. Bless you always. Thank you. Thank you. I hope I made sense. Thank you so much.
Yes, yes, yes. Uh, one participant, Ipsita Ankita Hota, no camera. Says unable to, I think, unable to switch on camera.
They are not accepting my permission. I give them
Exactly,
permission. They
that is a
decline.
big problem.
Otherwise, then we will share some.
Jaideep Yadav is writing, thank you for detailed presentation, sir. Jaideep. Okay. Architect M. Kali. Architect M. Kali Krishna. Thank you for the wonderful and explanative presentation, sir. Not able to find camera option. So there are a number of people want to interact, but some problem. Anyway, I'll share the contact number and email ID of sir.
Yeah. Let them please interact with me.
So now I would like to invite Dr. Harish Mittu sir to conclude the session.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes.
Yes, yes, you are audible.
Thank you, and very good evening once again. Thank you very much, sir. We got the very detailed historical background of Chandigarh city.
Yes, sir.
That you took from Lahore to Chandigarh. That what's the plan, the political will also, in order to create that beautiful city. Because if that type of will is there, then definitely the other places are also becomes very
Surely.
beautiful.
Yes.
And that's good for us. And your insightful discussion over here today, I am also get very much from your lecture, and I hope that every individual also they get lots of things. And as a practice architect, they will definitely use this information or this learning in their practice also.
Yes.
Thank you very much, sir. Thanks
Thank
to
you
you.
so much. Thank you so much, Hari sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Nagendra ji.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, everybody.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, participants, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much,
Sandeep
sir,
Thank you,
sir.
sir. Good
for your
night.
Thank
yes
you.
once again.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good night. Thank you, sir.
Ah,
We will share few
our next,
questions.
Thank you,
yeah,
sir.
yeah. Dr. Yogita want to interact. I
No,
think.
no, sir. I just
Well,
wanted to say,
Huh?
yes,
I
please.
just
Huh?
wanted to say that it was really mesmerizing and very detailed presentation. I
Thank
I
you.
loved it,
Thank
and yeah, I'll be in touch with you because I am also an architect,
you.
and yeah, it will be nice. I mean, having your
Welcome.
presentation, it's really nice. Thank you, sir.
Welcome, Dr.
Uh,
Yogita. All welcome.
Dr.
Thank you very much for kind
Professor Dr.
words.
Arsia Khajuria ma'am want to interact or talk. Arsia ma'am, you are here?
Yes, sir. I'm here. Thank you so much, Sangeet,
Hi,
sir.
Arshia. Hello, Arshia. Long time.
Yes, sir.
Long
So we'll
time.
meet you in Chandigarh soon.
Surely. Welcome. Welcome, Arshia. Welcome.
Yes.
See you soon.
Lovely to, yes, sir. Lovely to
Thank,
listen to you again, sir.
thank you
And
so
thank you
much.
so much.
Thank you so much.
Very
Thank you so much,
informative session, sir.
Arshia. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So this, Sangeet sir, this is the beauty of our FDP,
Yes.
dean from different architecture schools, very
Yes.
renowned professors and dean,
Yes,
like
sir.
Professor Swati Behal ma'am from
Yes.
Chandigarh University,
Yeah.
architect Dr. Arsia Khajuria ma'am from Amity University, Mohali, and Dr. Yogita from BMS College of Architecture, Bengaluru. So there are a number
Yes.
of, professionals, our fellow friends, architects are participating in this FDP. So this is great achievement for our
Wonderful.
school and other, our team. So thank you very much,
I'm
sir,
so
once
thankful,
again.
sir.
Yeah, thank you,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Thank you very
Thank you
much.
It
so
is
much.
really gave us a very good, the fresh perspective towards the subject. It's really nice to
Thank
hear
you,
you.
Dr.
Very
Yogita. Thank you so
subtle
much.
and calm voice. Really nice.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
appreciate.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Sarkar,
Bless you
sir,
all.
now you are
Hope to see
visible.
you
Your
all.
photo
Yes,
is
sir.
visible.
Luckily, and I am visible. Luckily.
Hello, sir. Hello,
Luckily.
Hello,
sir.
sir. I'm fine.
Okay, so
Thank you,
now
sir.
you face to face with sir.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. I'm watching.
Yeah, thank you so much for kind words,
Yeah,
sir.
thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you, sir.
much. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. So, thank you
Uh,
so much, sir.
Okay, sir. I'll take leave. Thank you.
Thank you so
Have
much.
a
okay.
good night.
Good night, G.
Yes, sir.
Good night.
Good night,
Thank you,
sir.
sir. Thank you once again, and good night to all
Thank,
my fellow
thank,
participants, our
thank,
sir.
thank.
And I am requesting all my fellow participants, please attend this FDP. Attendance, 80% attendance is mandatory. So that is, for certification, that is mandatory. So I am requesting all my fellow brother and sisters of as a participant in this FDP, you will join and make this FDP very successful so that we can make our nation a smart, safe, walkability. Thank you very much. Subratri.
Thank you, sir.
So the feedback form is not working.
Just
Acha, okay. Rahul sir, Harish Mittu sir.
yes, sir. Rahul sir is taking care of that.
Sir, now
Ah,
And
working, sir.
if someone, those who are
It's
interested,
now
they can
working.
attempt the poll also. We can share with them a few questions that right to
right
walk.
now,
Yes, yes.
right
If
now, sir.
those, yes, yes, 5 questions.
Okay.
I
Just, sir.
think most of them are already left, sir.
No
Okay,
problem.
no issue. This is just engagement and some.
There
Uh,
are 100 plus participants, so they
this
can
is,
attempt.
we can say this
Questions
is
are
the
visible
refresher
now.
course for. This is the
Questions are
refresher course
visible.
for your test.
This is not the test. This is just practice.
No, sir. Refresher course for the test, upcoming test. Practice, na?
Yes, 5 questions. Right to walk, making urban walking more safe, and I think questions are visible to you.
Which
And
article?
panelists can't vote actually. So how do I
I'll make them to.
Sir,
yeah.
sir, before
Yes, sir.
starting the session tomorrow, we will
Okay.
uh, do this
Okay, fine.
activity.
I will give this.
Okay,
No
sir.
problem.
Okay, sir.
So will we
Good
do it
night.
tomorrow, sir? Nagendra
Yes,
sir?
yes,
Will we do it
definitely tomorrow
no?
in the beginning.
Okay.
In the
Yes,
Okay.
beginning.
tomorrow. Yes, ma'am.
Sir, and feedback link, did you share that?
Shared in WhatsApp group. as well as mail to every participant.
It is not working.
Thank you, Harish sir.
We'll check. Welcome, sir.
Thank you,
Shwantanu
Harish
is
sir.
saying
Check.
it is not
Yes.
working. Rahul sir, please look it.
Yes, yes. He will check and share.
Afterwards also we can fill it, no? Like, I mean, if you have sent email already, then we can go through the email.
It's
Yes,
working.
yes, ma'am.
There is
It's
a
working.
message.
aa gaya.
It's working now.
Yes, Hemant Kumar participant is saying, yeah, it's working now. So requesting all, please fill the feedback form. That is mandatory for the attendance purpose.
Sure,
Okay,
sir.
Rahul
Sure,
sir
sure.
has already shared in the what I think chat box.
Sir, yeah.
If you have time, you will do
Yeah,
it.
it is working.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.